Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hello from everybody all around the world. Welcome back to a Friday edition of the Welch. But with me, Jean-Luc Welch, make some, there we go, make some noise. Yes, sir, clap it up, get excited. Wherever you are, we are back with another action-packed show for today. Today it's Friday. Yes, sir. That means it's time for you all to drive the show. The entire show is a championship round dedicated event where you all drive the conversation, y'all make the noise, y'all make the topics, and y'all make this show your own. No question about it. And we still got agendas to talk about. We still got topics to discuss, like some questions with Boots Ennis in light of his recent move to committing to go up to 154, and some drama with him and Devin Haney potentially having a fight at 152, but then it getting scrapped. Now we have to ask, hey, Boots, why aren't you fighting right now? Because it feels like it's been enough time since the standing on this fight that there should have been, some level of we know what's going to happen now at this new division. It's been kind of silent, can't lie. Looks like something feels a little bit off, and we need to address that. Also, we need to talk about the likes of Canelo Alvarez and what are the steps after Crawford. Win and lose. What comes next? Because this is a still big time issue where he's still in the prime of his career, and whether or not he goes through and takes on challenges or just stagnates like he's been doing for the past 4 fights is up in the air, especially after what will be one of the biggest fights of his career outright against Terrence Crawford. So we need to discuss that. But again, make the show your own. It's a championship rounds for the entirety of the show. Y'all drive the conversation. Oh, and full disclaimer, let's get the intro out the way. If you're here, please leave a like on the stream. Go ahead, share the show with everybody you can. If you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel to go on and join the empire. Go on and be a part of this monolith of a community that we have going on today. This is great. It's phenomenal. And we can't do it without you. So again, if you want, come through, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know whenever we post on this show. And also be sure, if you can give to the show, Cash App, PayPal, links in the description down below to have everything be a part, or to have whatever gifts you can afford to give for this channel be received, so that we can have an opportunity to let this thing grow, flourish, shine, add new things to this show to help make this show better for you all, because that is what you deserve. No question about it. And so again, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your effort. We appreciate you being here on this Friday. No question about it. And again, it is the championship round. So without further ado, let's go on and get it started. And let's open up the floor to whatever you all want to say. Yes, sir. Let's get it popping. Make the show your own. It's time for the championship rounds. However long, whether it's an hour, 30 minutes, shoot, we've been on here for 5 hours at one point in time with this show, just going out and just dominating from the standpoint of topics, talking points, consistent levels of conversation. Yes, I know it's been kind of a slow news week in the boxing world, and honestly, for a lot of the sports, with outside of death just running amok throughout the celebrity world. It's been a little bit quiet on all fronts. Football's been a little bit silent, although it's ramping up in the standpoint of He's getting ready to come back in less than 50 days. NBA, we've had some signings across different teams. Some concerns with Jonathan Kuminga and his ability to get a contract. It's up in the air right now for what's going to be happening in Golden State. We've had a lot, but also we haven't had much. So I get it, but still, we're going to make a phenomenal show. We're going to make it do what it do. So again, if you got anything you want to say, any debates, any concerns, any topics, any questions, any sort of circumstance that you want me to delve into, hey, feel free to do it. Absolutely. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal Friday. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal time on this weekend, wrapping up your week and having an opportunity to finish everything off strong. Get ready for the weekend. Get ready to relax. Get ready to kick back, and let me usher you in to the end of your work week so that you can have yourself a mighty great time once it's all said and done. But again, with all that being said, let's jump right into some action with topics that we have while you are getting your questions together, like with Jerron Boots Ennis. Yes, indeed. We do need to discuss that. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Doggone it. Where's it? There we go. Like with Boots Ennis and discussing his, I don't want to jump on him, but discussing what I would have to call a stagnation in his elevation in weight class. Yes, as we know, Boots Ennis, one of the more premier boxers in all of the world, one of the most raw, talented fighters that we have in boxing today, has had comparisons to Roy Jones Jr., has unified the titles at 147, has now moved up to 154, fully committed in his own words. But there, even with all of that being said, and the hype that has followed him, all of a sudden, it's gone a little bit dark. I can't lie. It's gone a little bit silent, and it's due to the fact that we have waited for something to come down the line for what he's going to do with his career at 154. We were all expecting him to fight Virgil Ortiz or the Bochucks or any real contender at 154 pounds because of the fact that he was already going to be at the zenith of those rankings. The second we were saying he moved up to 154, he was going to be at the top. Boots was going to be the man at the division that was going to look to essentially run everything. From the standpoint of, I'm here and immediately I'm vying for titles. He said himself he was vying for titles at 154, wanted to become undisputed at 147, at 154, at 160, at 168. We read the tweet, we kept the receipts, and we've been making sure that he holds himself to that same standard. Oh, yes, we are. Because, again, we view this man as a legitimate, incredible talent, and we want to see him thrive and grow. Absolutely. But what we don't want is a level of inconsistency like we've seen from other boxers before, where you call your shot, but then you don't go about it. Then you don't go and address it. Then you don't go and press it. That's where we have been really holding Boots' feet to the fire when looking at his career. Because we know what the zenith of his ability can be. This is a brother who can run 154. He can. Especially how it's looking like right now. Biggest odds will be Bakwan Murtazali, Sebastian Fundora, and, of course, the great Virgil Ortiz, who, again, is one of the more diabolical and dangerous fighters at this division, who is persona, well, not persona non grata, but he is op number one, the big kahuna. That is Boots' big fish from the standpoint of where you are in this division. He's a man, in terms of Virgil Ortiz, who is going to be that other dog that also is like your biggest litmus test. You beat him, all of a sudden everything else kind of answers itself. You beat Virgil. Okay, we can see what Sebastian Fundora, we know what would happen. Bochuck, we know what would happen. Murtazali, we know what would happen. We would know, because that barometer is so high, and we already have you as on Virgil's level. We expected that fight to be, if not the first, the second fight at minimum. But we expect it to be somewhere soon. And especially at this stage in the game, mid-summer, at least something being announced at 154 that has us having a idea of, okay, It's time for the engine to rev up. Also, I see people in the chat. My apologies. Like Al Booga. Hey, brother, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. So glad that you're here with us on today. We're so happy that you joined us on this Friday afternoon or morning, wherever you are in the world. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. Hopefully you're enjoying your day. Hopefully we can make your day even better. Again, this is indeed the championship rounds, as we do every Friday. The whole show is dedicated to you all to make your voice be heard, make your voice be shown, let yourself be seen and recognized by the sports public. And let's have some debates and conversation, all driven by you all in the comments. If it's something we didn't touch on, if it's questions that we asked but we didn't get to delve into earlier throughout the week, if it's newfound stuff, opinions, and conversation you want to have my opinion on, let me know in the chat and we can give it to you. Absolutely, we can make this a phenomenal show. But let me keep on reading what you had to say as we continue to get back to the topic at hand. I'm a Boots fan. Been to a couple of his fights. Oh wow, that's great. This is not a good look for Boots. I thought he was really trying to put his foot on the gas. Career what? And so see, we're having this level of anxiety. It's anxiety right now. It's beyond just anticipation. Now it is expectation going into unrest. But civil unrest, that's the base thing that we can call it. We're dealing with civil unrest when it comes to Boots Ennis right now. Because we're getting annoyed. Now we're getting annoyed with the moves that don't happen. And you fought David Abney, and you fought Sugar John, then you fought Stanley Ennis. Okay, great. Cool. You did what you needed. Unified. You didn't stay. You moved up. You kept to your word. We're all ready for it. Now, when you kept up to your word and said move up to 154, we were expecting, okay, the metal is gonna be, the pedal's gonna be pushed to the metal. The foot's going through the floor because now you speeding your way through. At a prime age when you are willingly or genuinely seen as the second you step up into the next weight class, you're top 3. Just by talent alone, as viewed by the populace. You can get a title shot immediately if you wanted to. If you really wanted to go that route. If you really wanted to keep like you said you were going to. If you wanted to tune up, I completely understand. I'm glad you said you wanted to tune up. I am glad that you said you wanted to dip your feet in the water first before getting fully into the big hitters like again with Virgil Ortiz. I understand. I have no issue with that. But what I do have a problem with is the fact that now, even that level of getting your feet wet, you're not even jumping into the pool. You're still skirting around the edge of the pool area. You're on the marble tile, but you ain't in the water. You ain't even sitting on a ledge. And it's a question of when is it going to happen? Why hasn't it happened yet? What is the holdup for you not going into these fights anymore? Or not going into, okay, it's time to make a fight. It's time to go. It's time to eat. Again, even if it's a bump, some level of action at this stage in the year. And it's not just because we're trying to come on, push yourself, go ahead, and if you die, you die. We just want to see blood in the water. We're not saying that. What we are saying is with him being such a polarizing figure off the backs of the Stanley Ennis fight, all of a sudden, he's let the bottom of the hype drop out from under. And he's let the momentum of carrying the weight of being a star now start to fizzle out. Because again, it's been stop and start. It's been touch and go. He has gotten to a level of wide acclaim and then he peters out. He doesn't do anything. There's no action. There's no consistency. There's no staying power in the minds of fans outside of the memory. But that can only carry you so far. Especially when you're sporadic. And we want you now to be fighting these great fighters at 154, especially because the division is more vulnerable than ever. It's more volatile than ever. All of a sudden, Sebastian Fundora is actually looking like a quality world champion, with him making Tim Tszyu quit on his stool. Something I didn't think was going to happen. Well, we got Virgil Ortiz still being Virgil Ortiz. We still got Bochuk, who is great. And then, depending on what goes on with Crawford and Canelo, regardless of what goes on with Crawford and Canelo, we can still see Crawford come back down to 154, like he said he wants to do, and run it back again, become undisputed for a third time. So you got one of the biggest contenders potentially coming down the pipe to go for undisputed after his work in September. And you are supposed to be the other anchor player. The other, we want to go Marvel, the other anchor being. The other root and solid foundation of this division that's supposed to give it even more life and unease. Even more life and unpredictability. And a true showing of, hey, brother, if you're going to be top 5 in pound for pounds like we say your talent can be, you got to go through this gauntlet. Because at the top, this is one of the more violent divisions in all of boxing. And if you come out of this great, it speaks for itself, but you ain't doing nothing. And it almost feels like there's a level of unease on Boots' side. Because there should be some noise by now of whatever you were going to do in this division, even if it's a tune-up, just to get something happening. And yet, everybody ain't scared of you. Everybody ain't trying to avoid you. I know that for a fact. So it just seems strange. It really does seem strange. 28 years old, no Bud, no Spence, no Keith, no Ortiz, no Norman Jr. And like it's a problem. Again, and again, Spence, Bud, Boots was getting himself up to that top of the mountain by the time Spence and Bud were there. And once he reached that zenith, then they had left. I'll give a caveat there. Understandable. Still wanted the fight to happen. Still need to see it. Still need to see if it can happen with both of them. It happened with both of them. Spence and Crawford both fight Boots, hypothetically. I don't care how off or how down bad we may see Spence in terms of, we don't know what he's going to be as a fighter. I still need to see those fights happen just because they were all at the same place at the same time. I get it. Though they were up here and Boots was still rising, but hadn't gotten from a standpoint up to that zenith yet. By the time he did, they were out. But still, all these names are not existing on the resume. Now, with this new division, he can be right there of being, hey, we can shut all that noise up, and you ain't got nobody on your docket. Because you got about 6 people you can fight. You got about 6 people you can fight. One champion we know you can beat in terms of Sebastian Fundora. Though now that's looking like a tougher task because all of a sudden, again, making Tim Tszyu, not knocking out Tim Tszyu, making him quit. All of a sudden is something that we didn't think he had in him from a talent and destructive force. Now, hey, we got some stuff to ask, which is good. But we're waiting for him to prove it, and he just ain't proved it. He should be able to go straight after Tellers or Tellez for the yes, he should. He absolutely should. There's about 2 titles he can go for straight on without any sort of hiccup from the standpoint of who you can actively beat and already send a message to the rest of the division. Absolutely. But with that being the case, let's pump it back and let's look at what the plan is supposed to be for Boots. Boots was supposed to be having a tune-up. Great. Where is it? See, let's forget the big time names at the division. Let's forget the top 10 at 154. Let's drop it. Let's forget it. Strictly going just off of what his plan is. Why is it that if you needed a tune-up fight, it has been this long and it still is come to nothing? Why is it that with as long away as that standing on this fight was, we have yet to hear anything from Boots in any capacity against any level of competition when he's supposed to be getting tune-up fights to be able to get ready? I'm pretty sure he can demand it because he was the WBA super champ at 147. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. That weight carries tenure. That weight carries a level of immediate cachet. It do. It absolutely does. Shoot, that's part of the reason why we see it even being possible for Crawford to be able to become champion at 168 off the backs of the major win and, again, the belt that he had at 147 that he also held at 140. So now again, it's also because it's Crawford. Understandable. We've also seen other champions. You win at the division below, you can immediately go to a division above. In a way they did against Stephen Fulton. Similar name, similar noise, excuse me, as to how that fight came to be. But regardless of the weight or of the title, we're just waiting on anything. We are just waiting on anything right now. Because again, like I said, the iron was hot with Stanionis, and the ability of Stanionis, and with him beating him, automatically made it so that, okay, we want to see you again. And you can be in a fast track, 2 fights, all of a sudden you're champion. 3 fights, you're unified. 4 fights, you're majority champion. 5 fights, or dare I say even 4 fights still, if we see one of the champions unify at 154. In less than 5 fights, you could be undisputed. If you really wanted to go that route. And it could have started today. It could have started today. That could have started today. At least get an announcement. At least get some sort of, we're in negotiations. Again, that unrest that we talked about is also because everybody else around him is making moves in some capacity really, really quickly. Really quickly. I mean, look, Usyk and Joseph Parker just got forced to be a mandatory, which what everybody wanted. And now they got 30 days to go, 60 or 30 days to go and negotiate and make something happen. Boom, bing, bang, boom, stuff's going about. Devin Haney and Brian Norman, that got made. And boom, shortly after the fight with Jose Ramirez, regardless of the noise, it got made. And the fight got established. Shoot, even Jake Paul has it moving quicker than what we've seen with the likes of Boots Ennis from the standpoint of getting a fight made. With him already in talks with the likes of Anthony Joshua at heavyweight for a legitimate 10-round fight against a former unified champion. Even he is making consistent moves of getting opponents, getting names, and fighting with us knowing the plan. Boots right now gave us a plan, followed the plan. Now it's starting to deviate from the standpoint of timeliness. And also, don't forget with what we've seen with the likes of Boots and Devin Haney. Devin Haney making claims that they were going to fight at 147. Boots wanted it at 152. Well, at a catchweight at 152. Devin said, nah, I've never fought at 154 before, let alone 152. Why in the world are you trying to make that fight there? Mind you, he's fought on night of the fight at 168, 175 in some cases. One fight, I think somebody said he came in at 180. Might have been a Paul Grace fight. How true is that? I don't know. But I know routinely he's been able to fight, not a fight at that weight class. But it's like regardless of that, once that fell through, okay, fine. That still doesn't excuse the fact that, brother, you can still make some moves and get some level of traction going, because at this point right now, everything we were saying about Stanionis, everything we were saying about you, everything we were saying about your hierarchy in the landscape of boxing as a whole, now it's starting to lose some footing, because you're starting to slide backwards in the mind's eye of people. And the people that are supporting you are getting restless now because it seems innocuous. What's the wait for you trying to get a fight? Why do you need 2 tune-up fights? When we first started, it was 1 tune-up fight. Why is it that it's so hard to find a tune-up fight in the first place? Why is it that we don't seem to see any sort of attempt at this point in time, again, from the outside looking in, at having a docket of names that you're at least looking to get into in terms of to fight against if you really want to get comfortable? You can fight a top 15 guy. You can. You can. You can fight a top 20 guy. Shoot, if you want, you can fight the bottom of the top 10 list if you really want to. Make a fight happen. It ain't like everybody is so packed in that you can't find somebody. And with, excuse me, and with the way that you were saying that you were feeling better, that you were operating under 30% capacity per doctors with you fighting at 154, all of that is to say, you should be jumping at the bit trying to get a fight as soon as possible, because you should feel more comfortable than ever with a bevy of people that, oh yeah, I can knock 6 people down if need be. I feel this good. And again, good kid, good guy. I'm not attacking his character. We want to see him. But there's a level of frustration due to all of a sudden, we let the wind go through. We let it fester. We let it slide. And then with what Turkey has been doing also has hurt this image of what we're talking about with Boots, because everything in every other division has moved so quickly with so many other big names that it's like, brother, if you don't keep up the consistency in your own career, just by proxy what's going on with Turkey Al Sheik in the ring and everything going on with big fights or fighters getting made consistently against other top quality competition, it's like, hey, brother, we're all looking at every other big star and saying, okay, what you gonna do? Hey, what you gonna do? What's going on? Huh? In the span of 3 months, we've had Shakur, Schofield, Zepeda, Inoue, Usyk, Dubois, and I think I'm missing like 4 other names of quality competition facing off against each other, of the biggest of big sets when it comes to the hierarchy of boxing from a name perspective. We saw that. We saw that, and potentially even more in less than 3. Bam Rodriguez, I almost forgot. He ain't even associated with the ring, but just the bulk of the biggest of big have done work, and this is causing other stars now to get some sideways glances. No, you'll get the people's eyebrow all of a sudden saying, "Hey, brother, what's the deal? What's going on? Where's your same road as with what we've seen with these other people? We've been spoiled with talent and fights a lot this year. And I get it. We don't want people, people ain't fighting 5-6 times. People ain't fighting 17 times like Mike Tyson early in his career. People ain't fighting, 30, almost 30 times a month. Nearly every day or every other day a month. Like they used to do way back in the day. I get that. But even then, this big of a gap for somebody who had the world at his feet, and your name directly attached to one of the biggest names in the sport in Terrence Crawford, and you didn't go do this, which is nothing really, for a long period of time after your biggest win. Now it's like, it's a bad look. It's a really bad look. And it's a really bad look. But let me keep on reading. The worst thing for a boxer's legacy is inactivity unless due to injury. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And unless that is to retool, regroup, and come back better. Yeah, inactivity is hard. Not just for the talent, but for the spotlight. Notice, David Benavidez has had a consistent schedule and time, and he's had a consistent level and pace to his career that has always kept him in the mind's eye, and especially recently has caused him to be very much one of the bigger faces in boxing, like he deserved to be 3 years ago, because the way he fights and how good he is worth that level of acclaim. But now he's on that road of being, hey, brother, this is one of the more recognizable faces in all of boxing. Love it. Absolutely. But it's because he was consistent. Not just in the ring, but even outside of the ring, you knew what was happening. You knew, okay, he's looking for a big fight. He's trying to be great. He moved up, fought Gvozdyk, and then less than a couple months later after that fight, brother, boom, David Morrell, right there. And we knew what was coming. All right, we got the rope. He beats David Morrell. But he beat David Morrell. We were still in the midst of talking about that win with the Canelo fight versus Crawford happening, and how we want to see Canelo fight Benavidez down the line. We were still in the way, or in the availability of using that win against David Morrell as a means of comparison of this is what potentially we could see Benavidez do, or what he can take, or potentially pitfalls. Either way, pitfalls for that fight with Canelo in terms of the power and all that stuff. But again, another conversation. Either way, it was still in the mind of a lot of people. And then Anthony Yarde, right as that win started to wane in the mind's eye of people, Anthony Yarde got made immediately. All of a sudden, the noise of Benavidez got drummed back up again. Now we're talking about brother. This is going to be the strongest punch he's ever faced. Now we're talking about a brother who went to war with Artur Beterbiev and Anthony Yarde and took him to almost 12 rounds before getting knocked out. Might have been 12 before getting knocked out. We're talking about a man who, if he beats Anthony Yarde, regardless of the stagnation that we've seen in his career as a progressing fighter, though he is still incredibly young, now that will give us credence to say, okay, we got something for Artur Beterbiev or Dimitri Bivol, because that will give us a fresh sample of what we might be able to expect from that fight, with the experience of what Anthony Yarde brings to the table and the talent that he is and who he's been in the ring with. All of a sudden, there's a whole new conversation surrounding David Benavidez. And the hype train has started up again, and we can't wait for that card, I think in November. On top of with Ryan Norman and with Devin Haney co-headlining. It's the ability of always having something coming next is always great. It's always great. When Usyk came through after after his second fight with Fury, what happened? Riding high on the win, still going through, and then you get, and boom, Daniel Dubois got made. Right as the waning of time started to have us asking, hey, what's going on? Fight got made. And mind you, Usyk only fights 2 times a year, but we know what the timeline of what's going to happen. We have a visual. We got it. We got a flag we can look to. We got a lighthouse we can go and track and see, okay, this is where it's pointing to. With Boots, we know what he wants to do, but we don't know how he's going to get there, because it changed throughout all of this conversation of what was going to happen between 147 and 154, if he would stay and if he would go, what he wanted to do and what he wanted to achieve. Then the rules of engagement shifted on Boots' side. First it was we going after Virgil Ortiz immediately. We fighting and we going after Chips the second we step up there. All right, makes sense. He's going to be one of the top 3 fighters in the division. He'll probably be able to work it to become a mandatory out the gate. And his first fight can be a world title. And he can move like he wants to move. Then it became, I need a tune-up fight at 154. Now, he said that he's never felt more comfortable, but we also understand you need to get situated in the division. Okay, fine. We'll give you a tune-up. Great. That one tune-up never got established. The potential opponent never even sniffed the public eye. From the standpoint of we didn't know. Then it elevated to 2. And then it was like, wait, hold on. Now you need 2 tune-up fights at 154 at a weight class that you said you were incredibly comfortable with and that you were operating better than ever. And you still want to go after titles, yes, but now you're taking an even longer route when we know you can get it in 2 fights in a median title shot. 3 fights, you can become unified. In 4 fights, if we see the division shift and change and somebody else get unified. But that's 4 belts in 3 fights. Oh, excuse me, that's 4 belts in 4 fights. Boom, you got it. Now you can move up. That's what, again, that was the timeline. Then it shifted. Then it shifted again, and now it's gone dead silent. Now it's just confusion. Now it's just, why are you waiting? Now it's just, why do you need more time? And you ain't even talking about the people that you want to fight. It's just, we ready when we ready. It's just, yeah, I feel comfortable. I feel good. That's all great. But now at this stage in the game, that ain't good enough for a lot of people. That ain't good enough just to be like how you feel. We need to know at what, regardless of how you feel, who's next. Because with what happened with Brian Norman, you moving up right when he got his belt, him calling you out, and again, you leave the division, which again, I understand. Going through after Undisputed, I get it. But it don't look good when then you're moving in a fashion of you aren't still keeping with the consistency of really being about that work. When somebody that was about that work and is about that work got within vicinity of you, like with Norm, once you were at the top of the top. When the old guard left, Spence and Crawford, and the new guard came to be Norman and Boots reigned as the top guy. Then, when Norman gets there, all of a sudden now you move up. Yes, because you have told your desires. Great, and we respect them. And we have no problem with it. But then you're moving outside of what those desires entail. If you really want to be about that undisputed road. Right now you ain't moving like it. So it's confusing. It's concerning. It's dangerous. It is bad. That's what it is. It's full-blown bad. And that noise can get louder and louder. The longer that this thing stagnates from his ability to actually show something in the ring. Because then, pretty soon, it's going to be people saying, why are you having a tune-up in the first place? It's going to go from we get it to you're wasting our time. Go do what you need to do. If he dominates his first fight, people are going to be saying, buddy, you don't need another tune-up. If he takes one tune-up and then tries to force himself to take another, after already showing, hey, yo, you like that. Now it's going to be like, oh, you're wasting our time. Now it's going to be like some red flags are going to start going up on the fans and their opinions of it. And the conversation will indeed shift and change. From this brother's a killer, a dog, it can't be one of the best in the world, to he's a killer. But it looks like he's hesitating with the knife in his hand. Because he's in position to strike and cut down the division. But he's moving mighty slow, ain't he? For a brother that is indeed of the level of him. With the desires and wide sweeping acclaim that he says that he wants for his career. There's some level of concern. And I don't like it. Especially not for Boots of all things. I don't like it. I don't like that at all. But my gosh. If it don't change quick, if we don't hear any noise, something, hopefully today, anything, it's going to be problematic. I'm telling you, it's going to be problematic. I guarantee you. But again, we are still in the championship rounds. Do not forget, this is still you all's the show. You all's conversation. You all drive everything that we do for today. Yes, I got points and plot points and other topics that we can discuss and bring up as the day goes on. But still, you all primarily control whatever we discuss. If you want to talk about GOAT debate, if you want to talk about Usyk and his ranks in pound for pound, like we talked about earlier in the week, if you want to talk about eras in boxing, how some may be devalued as the generations are going on more and more and more. Which, again, we talked about it earlier in the week with the conversations of Ali, for some people, at least over social media, Ali and Usyk, who would win that fight, who indeed is better or worse, who's greater, all this stuff. If y'all want to have that conversation, we can have that conversation. Y'all want to talk about something with the NBA, NFL, sports, whatever the case may be, movies, TVs. I got to see Fantastic Four. If y'all want to talk about my review of that movie, it's great. I'm down for it. Whatever y'all want to discuss, we can make it happen, absolutely, because this is you all show to control. Let's say, what's up, Sergey? Hey, brother, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the show with us on today on this Friday afternoon. We appreciate you oh so much coming through on this Friday. Hopefully you're enjoying your time. Wherever in the world you may be, whatever time of day it is, hopefully we're making your day brighter, making it more exciting, making it fun, making it easy, and giving you some entertainment to be able to take you through all of your end of work week. And can't wait for the weekend. Lord, I need a rest. I guarantee that right now. But hey, we still gonna make it happen. We're still gonna give you all the entertainment that you deserve. So again, leave a like on the stream if you haven't already. Keep on commenting your thoughts and opinions. Keep on commenting in the chat. Let the world know what's going on by sharing the show with everybody that you can. And please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell and join the empire. Come on in. Let yourself be a part of this phenomenal community. Absolutely. Let's keep on growing. And if you can support the channel, Cash App, PayPal, links in the description. If you can give, would mean the world to me. Help us to keep on investing into this show. Hey, it's my job. It's how I make a living. So it'll help me out so much if you could do it. And I appreciate you all just being here oh so much. But again, let me see what you all got to say. Let me see you all's opinions and thoughts. This is still the championship round. So whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about. As we are waiting for your questions to come to fruition, though, we still have other conversations that we can discuss with beyond just Boots Ennis and beyond just the division of 154. Actually, with the division 154, excuse me. My apologies, misspoke. Can we discuss Sebastian Fundora real quick? Because I don't think we got to really delve into what exactly we're seeing from the standpoint of elevation with this career. Also, let me see. There's an English fighter named Folly that's fighting on the zone tomorrow. Shoot, what's his name? Hold on. I think I know who you're talking about. Let me pull out. What's his name? Hold on. What's doggone it? I'm drawing a blank on the other portion of his name. Shoot. Hold on a minute. Is it hold on. Nope, that ain't it. No, that ain't him. That's a different Folly. Who is this brother? Doggone it, who is this kid? What's his name? It's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of it. Shoot. Doggone it. Oh, this gonna eat me away. I know who you talking about. I just can't think of the rest of his name. But he is fighting tomorrow on his own. Dang it, I'm sorry. I was drawing a blank. I was getting amped up because I was like, I know. Dang it, this is going to eat me alive. I'm sorry. I'm going to remember it. It's going to come to me. I know it's going to come to me. But I know who you're talking about. He is fighting tomorrow on his own. Did you cover Zayas card, shoot you on that card too? We covered it in spurts. I gave my thoughts on Zayas, not much on Bruce or Shushu Carrington, rather. Real quick, what I said was Zayas. Xander Zayas, I said he's going to knock out his opponent. That's what I said. Absolutely. I said he's going to knock him out. Now, again, we brought it that he had beaten or his opponent had beaten a good brother beforehand, which was going to potentially give him some level of real trouble. But I was saying I'm a little bit biased. Because I'm very high on Xander Zayas in his career and as a fighter. I am a big fan of his. I'm a big fan of the way he uses his length. I'm a big fan of his footwork. I'm a big fan of his body work. Big fan of his defense, though it can be a little bit better. I'm a big fan of what he has already at such a young age, though again he is still one of the more dominant fighters in this division, already at or close to the top. So I've been saying, like, I am very much excited to see him fight this weekend. Now again, full disclaimer, I'm not gonna be able to cover this fight. Just so you know. I'm not gonna be able to live stream it this weekend. I'm not gonna be able to live stream it on tomorrow. I got stuff I gotta do. Got plans I've already made. I'm still gonna watch the fight, but I ain't gonna be in a position to live stream that fight ever. So you ain't gonna be able to see my reaction to it all. But still, I really am excited to see this brother come through. And again, at what is that? What's he weighs? I believe it's super middleweight. It's super middleweight. No. I'm sorry. 154. I was thinking, he looks like he's super middle at times, but no, he's 154. At 154, Xander Zayas can be a very, very, such a dangerous brother for a lot of people. So many people. Oh my gosh, for so many people. So many people. It's so good. It's like you gotta understand, man. This, and again, this goes back into my point that I'm making with Boots. As we're again jumping from point to point, but we're still covering the Zayas card and what can happen. Talking about Zayas first, then we're gonna talk about Shushu character. Zayas further adds that level of real weight to this division. Like again, every we're 154 has quickly turned into one of the deeper divisions in all of boxing. Dare I say one of the deepest divisions in all of boxing. From everybody being in their prime and everybody being right there for the taking in terms of a fighter being able to be against any sort of real competitor. Nearly within the entirety of the top 10 list. Or at least between that top 15, from 1 to 15. It's a bevy of opponents that are just great, elite, and can be competitive. It can upset people on any given moment. So it's like, with Zayas there as well, it's like, this is what I want Boots to go through. Excuse me. My apologies. But this is what I want Boots to go through. This is what I want to see him go against. And that's why I want to see him in the division so bad. But again, going back to your point in question, I got him winning. I got Zayas knocking out Garcia Perez. I do. And again, Garcia Perez 33-4. I understand he has beaten some good people before. Don't get it twisted. He is a really good brother. And he got some pop to him too. But he got some crack. That buddy can, that dude can punch. That brother, Garcia Perez, if we want to see how Zayas takes a shot, this would be the punch to do. Brother, this would be the shot to really give us a credence of what this man can really do. And in terms of Zayas and his potential weaknesses and flaws going up against power and legitimate, crack going against him, especially if we comparing him to these other big-time punchers in this division where he's up and coming and rising incredibly quickly. And so because of that, like, it's going to be a test, don't get me wrong. I think he knocked out Charles Conwell. So it ain't like, he beat Charles Conwell, not knocked him out, beat him, my apologies. But this ain't like this is going to be some push-up. Most likely this is going to be one of the, if not the hardest fight in Zayas' career up until this point in time. But, again, a little bit biased. I think he's going to pass this test with flying colors. More so, I want him to pass this test with flying colors. Because my gosh, if he passes this test and he beats Garcia Perez, I mean in dominating fashion. But the matchups that then can be made and the fights that we can then see on the horizon for Zayas against anybody, oh my gosh, it would be incredible. It would be phenomenal. It would be absolutely phenomenal. Let me see. Cool. Oh, we got people. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Time out. Something's going on with my YouTube studio. Wait a minute now. Oh, Lord. Are we okay? Wait a minute. Oh. What's going on here? Wait, time out. Bust the brakes.
Hey, look at this.
Hold on a minute.
We got some problems here.
What in the world is going on right now? Wait. I'm sorry. My YouTube studio also it's just it ain't rocking like it's supposed to rock. Is there a problem? Is there an issue? Is there a concern? Is there a circumstance? I don't know. Okay, we know what we gonna rock. We gonna rock. We are going to adapt and overcome. We shall overcome. We're gonna be okay. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Y'all can't see it. Hopefully it ain't affecting y'all. It's affecting me. It's affecting me severely. We're gonna still rock and make it work regardless of which. Let me see. Sergey, if Klitschko's fight each other, their era would be less boring. What do you think? Well, so here's the thing. I don't think it would be less boring if the Klitschko's fought each other. Also, Albert Rio, I almost forgot to see you. Good to see you. How you doing? Thanks so much for tuning into the show. So glad that you're here with us today. But with Sergey, I don't think it would be less boring. But it would be better for each of their careers. So it would bolster their cachet individually. Because, hey, one of y'all beat each other. The brothers faced off, and somebody was the better brother. But at the same time, the rest of that era was still the rest of that era, which was not filled really with a great bevy of talent. During that, 8 to 10 year span, that both of them was on top of the world, with Vitaly Klitschko being again the 10-year reign. Not is it Wanderlei? Not Wanderlei. It's Wanderlei Silva. I don't know how to say the other, but his name. It's Vitaly. Vladimir. That's what it. Vladimir had the 10-year reign. It was Vladimir Klitschko, 10-year reign. It was Vitaly Klitschko that didn't have as long of a reign, but was still in that midst of domination. Both of them ruling the division. Like imagine if the Charlo brothers were at the top of 154 and or 160, but they just never fought each other. It would be like that, and that's what it was. But if they had beaten each other, that would have helped them out immensely for where they were in terms of viewed as fighters in the long term. But it wouldn't have changed really the excitement of the division. Because outside of them too, like was there anybody else that really was a competitive fervor against them? Yeah, you had some names. You had Chris Bird, sure. You had Chambers, sure. I get it, but it was few and far between. The division would seem more exciting because, the brothers are gunning for each other. But then once that got settled, it would still be the rest of the landscape of the division. And so it would have added some level of excitement, but it still wouldn't have been completely perception altering. Because at some point in time, when the dust settled with either of them, it would have been, it would have been, for the most part, that fight between the brothers would be the only fight that people would be expecting to see. Because those were the only two that were on their level in that reign of terror that they both had. And they never wanted to fight each other because they were brothers. So, like, it just left unhinged. And that would be the only fight that people would be saying, we want to see a rematch. We want to see a rematch again. And don't let it be a wipeout on either occasion for one or the other brother. Then it's like, well, we know. We don't really want to see that fight anymore. And then the rest of the division is just, there's no real challenger afterwards that can give a level of shine, per se. Like, even with this division today in the heavyweight world, we have a situation where even now, Usyk has beaten the best of the era, But there's still some competition that it's like, hey, we want to see you fight against XYZ, because it's starting to become deeper with a better range of talent of recently in the latter half of Usyk's career. With the Talma, that other brother from New Zealand, with Caballero, Fabio Wardley, even Justice Huni, though he lost it I am fully invested in him making a comeback because he's got some real talent to him. Absolutely. And he was taking Wardley's best shots for upwards of 9 rounds up until one shot just landed clean on the button. But as a boxer, he's the truth. He's legit. So just with young talent alone, there's like 3 other people that we say, hey, if Usyk stays around, but if we want to see you fight XYZ, that wasn't like that with Klitschko. It was like, there really wasn't any competitors for either of them. So it was like, we don't want to see that. So, but let me keep on reading. Albert Real Cool Shushu on that card too. Yes, he is. He is fighting for the interim WBO title, if I have that correct, at featherweight. Now, if he wins that, he puts himself in line to fight one of the 4 champs at 126. So we talking about Carrington versus Nick Ball. We talking about Carrington versus Espinoza. We talking about there we go. We talking about Carrington versus a hypothetical situation of him versus the likes of Angelo Lee. I think that's his name. Is it Angelo Lee? Angelio Lee? Somebody up there. One of them. Angelo something. So it's hey, we've been watching and looking at Boost for a minute. He's been saying he wants that smoke, and he has been going about it. And now it's his potential cascading into the deep end of this division. Because brother, once he gets to that interim title spot, brother, it's nothing but killers. Once he gets to fighting for titles, brother, it's nothing but killers. The second he gets his mandatory or his interim title, it's nothing but killers. That's going through. Nothing but killers. Imagine trying to fight that 6'1" Espinoza at that division with incredible infighting. That'll give Booster time. Nick Ball and that aggression, that'll give Booster time. Angelo, that'll give him a time. There's nobody at that division that won't give him some potential concerning everything. I think I'm missing somebody. I'm missing somebody in that division. There's one champ. Unless I'm just stupid. Unless I'm just completely blanking. There should be 4 title holders. Who's that 4th one? Hold on. Wait a minute. Oh. Who am I kidding? Stephen Fulton.
Hey, look at this. We got the problems here.
How could I forget? Stephen Fulton. You gotta go get Stephen Fulton. Once you get now you gotta go get a better Stephen Fulton that beat Figueroa with the greatest beat. Shoot, you might have to go fight Figueroa. Hypothetically, you might need to go through that even before you get, even as an interim title. You might get a chance to fight for your interim title. And now you got 5 people that you gotta go through to get yourself a shot. Brother, it is a road. It's a road. It's a dangerous road. It is a murderer's road of talent at 126 that Boost gonna have to run through. But it's gonna be interesting. But it's gonna be exciting to see. No question about it. Let me see. Let me keep on reading. So I'm excited for Bruce. Let me see. Teddy Berkshire. Hey, brother. What's going on, man? How you doing? Thanks for the show. So glad that you are here with us on today. Again, I've been pulling double duty trying to make sure that we had some technical difficulties with this stream real quick. So I've been trying to fix and talk and essentially pull overtime all at the same time. So please excuse me if you see me hesitate in some cases. But let me read what you got to say. Ain't got long, man, because we talking boosting activity. Probably can't find any dance partners of interest. See, I beg to differ because Boost will still bring a lot of money to people regardless of their talent level. So it would be a fool for them not to take that. And plus, it's still 154. They could potentially have advantages that Boost ain't ready for yet. Mind you, the brother still is trusting his chin a lot, though he's gotten better with the defense. So he could get upset. It's not in the realm of impossible. It's not out of the realm of possibility. So I would think it should be that he gets some shine in some regard. Caballero, that man can do the job, but it's not going to be easy. No, it won't. Not at all. I promise you, it won't be. Clarissa Shields fighting a tin can with less KOs than her one KO. It's like, and again, I'll tell you what. We can say that the opponent may not be the best, though I think, again, she is defending her title against who I believe is the best available opponent out of the heavyweight division. I think, if I'm wrong, please excuse me. But, like, she did sell 15,000 tickets. Like, I think she sold out her arena. And it's like it's gonna be a packed house for her. So, for her and her talent level, it might be a tin can. But for the division, that might be, again, I'm not as familiar with the women's heavyweight division. Full disclaimer. So for the division, it might be a situation where it's the best, literally the best available. But because she just outshines them so much, hey, it's just, it looks like whatever. Because she's just so good and everybody else is just so far below in that division specifically. So, but again, either way, we're excited to see that fight happen. Let me see. Wow, he fight for a title now. Awesome. He deserves it. Yeah, it's interim. He wins this. He gets a shot at 126 for the WBO championship. He might already be a interim belt holder for another title as well. I can't remember exactly who, but regardless of which, but it's exciting for. Let me see. Inoue, you saying he can fight Inoue, or is Inoue a lighter fighter? Inoue is at 122. Bruce Carrington is at 126. So they are one weight class apart. Inoue is going to stay at 122 as long as he can for Junto Nakatani. He's already got like 2 fights already agreed to. So he ain't moving up no time soon at this point in time. Now, if Inoue does move up to 126 in potentially 2 years, and Bruce is still there, then we got to see Bruce versus Inoue. Who's got the advantage in that? You may say size-wise Bruce. Absolutely. But Bruce ain't faced off against Bruce ain't faced off against nothing like Inoue. Not a thing. And so that would be an interesting fight. I'm picking Inoue if that fight ever did get made. But at this point in time, that fight is not on the docket of possibility yet. But down the line, when Inoue does move up to 126, now that could be a real thing. Let me keep on reading. Let me see. Teddy Burke shot. And I said Pac-Man coming back to get Tank. He just confirmed it. He said, I want to fight him. We fight similar. See? Hey, look. If you were here yesterday, did I not say that Pacquiao and Tank was a legitimate fight that could happen? Did I not say? I did say that. I did say that was a fight that could potentially happen. I did say that in light of Lamont Roach not taking his fight, or in light of Tank not signing the contract with Lamont Roach and that fight seemingly being all but over at this point in time, and Jake Paul being gone because he's fighting Anthony Joshua at heavyweight. Thank the Lord, so we can get knocked out and put to sleep. I can't wait for that. Oh, that's gonna be a happy day. But regardless of which, I told you that was going to happen, because the money would be right, the cachet would be a big name, and then it would be in Tank's eyes an easy win that would just be able to, I'm the baddest thing in the sport, without having to prove it against the actual prime people that are in his own vicinity. And he would have to move up to 130 to 147 to do it. And if he does do this and move up to 147, what did we say yesterday? That would then mean that people like Brian Norman, people like Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, all are in your. You can't say that they're not big enough, or that they're too small for you to fight. You can't. You can't if you move up to that weight. Because I don't know if Pacquiao can make 135 anymore, especially how his body's filled out now. But with him at 147, Tank, if he moves up there, It's like, brother, you've been saying all these other people are too big, but you, again, were going to fight Jake Paul at 190 if you had beaten Lamont Moach. Now you're fighting Tank or a Pacquiao at 147. If that fight does happen, what's stopping you from fighting all these other people that we've been saying you need to do? Huh? What's stopping it? What the world is stopping? What in your mind is stopping that from happening? Outside of you don't want actual tests to actually put yourself. You don't want to, you're scared to lose because you don't want to risk your potential cachet going into the gutter. But guess what? It wouldn't have happened. A loss wouldn't have affected your career in the same vein if you had actually taken on big time fights on a consistent basis outside of your biggest fight being Ryan Garcia. And your most talented fighter being either Leo Santa Cruz or Pedraza at 22 years old. And you thought Floyd was trying to pit your career against you by putting you in a situation that you weren't really ready for when you actually were. You see, you don't want the work. But if you do this with Pacquiao, buddy, you're going to be forced to work. You're going to be forced to work. Because then it would be like, and again, this is with all due respect to Pacquiao. Tank is better than Pacquiao. Absolute, right now. Tank is better than Pacquiao. I don't think that would be a close fight. Because it's Tank in his prime right now. With better punching power, better ability to take on the still apparent openings because of his age and still getting back in the rhythm of things that we see with Pacquiao right now. He can knock him out, absolutely. But it would be, you knocked out a 46-year-old. A 46-year-old Pacquiao who, again, you had no business fighting. Forget age, forget the time in their careers, but you said you would never fight at 140 after Barrios. And you said 135 was comfortable, but you said 135 was comfortable, but you'll compromise your own standards when it's easy. And then when it's hard, you'll say you got to fight under my domain, at 135. And the people that are actually at your domain at 135, you don't do nothing with. You don't touch with a 10-foot pole. Shame. That's what it is. It's outright shame. And it's so frustrating. It is so incredibly frustrating. It's just odd. I'm sorry. It sometimes this stuff it just irks me. It just irks me in the kingdom come. And it is so bad that this is a consistent thing this is a consistent thing that we're seeing with Tank. In a means of his career doesn't have to be like this. It does not have to be like this at all. And the fact that it is just irks me. It hurts. That's what it is. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts, and it hurts bad. Because he is shooting himself in the foot. And it's such a shame. Let me see. Let me keep on reading what you all got to say. Box Red shows 38 to women in the heavyweight division. In the world, 6 in the U.S. Boots ain't looking good. Also, my bad. I'm sorry. Sonny August. What's good with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks so much for tuning in. So, like I said, I'm trying to handle getting the chat right and also reading y'all's chat and getting my stuff together with this doggone behind the scenes with YouTube studio. So excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to miss nobody. But salute to you. How you doing? So glad that you're here. Boots ain't looking good at all. No, he is not. We have discussed that more. And again, if we want to talk about it some more, we can talk about it as well. It's because they aren't decorated female fighters with no publicity. Yep, you're absolutely right. But no hate for somebody who wants equal pay. You fight the best one. Yep, absolutely. I agree with that completely. Man, Tank got no shame. First it was Jake. Now it's Pac. Yeah, Pacquiao. You know, see, Pacquiao gonna sleep or Pac. Hold on. Pac gonna sleep Pac. Hold on, wait. Sonny. Hold on. Pac's gonna knock himself out, brother. Hey, wait a minute. Hold on.
We got some problems here.
Brother.
We got some problems here.
Pac's old. I know Pac's old, but good gosh, man. You say you're gonna put himself to sleep? For a payday? I mean, that's the... I assume you mean that Tank is going to knock out Pacquiao and Tank just wants a payday. I assume that's what you mean, unless I'm reading it wrong. But my gosh, Pac's going to knock Pac out. He gonna fix the fight himself to get an easy payday. Oh, that'd be funny. That would be funny. Let me see. People have been arguing with me about Pac-Man. I've been saying they'll fight at a catchweight. It's literally the next biggest fight to Crawford and Canelo. Now, I don't agree with that. Teddy, I respect it. The catchweight thing, I completely understand. The next biggest fight, I don't think that's the case. I think outside of Barrios, there isn't many other fights that people are clamoring to see Pacquiao fight against right now. That we feel Barrios can be beat. Absolutely. We don't think he can beat Brian Norman. We don't think he can beat Devin Haney in most likelihood. Unless, again, he shows up and it's all of a sudden looking like a semblance of the Pac that beat Keith Thurman. Now we got a different conversation. Right now, he's more impressive than we ever thought. He can compete at a titleistic level, but it's not at that, upper echelon. It's at a Barrios level, which is still great. It's still phenomenal. But it's under what the other standards of excellence are that we have in the division right now. Again, he's 46. I'm not holding that against him. If he did fight Tank, it would be exciting. But it would be viewed as Tank is, again, taking another easy road. Because he compromised everything that he said he would not do. Because other weight classes are too big for him. That is why. And if he does it for Manny Pacquiao, you could have done it for Devin Haney. You should be no issue fighting Shakur now. And so it breeds a more sense of anger. Yeah, it'll be a spectacle. It'll be a huge fight because it's a Pacquiao fight. Pacquiao's a bigger name than Tank. I don't care what anybody says. He's a bigger name than Tank. Pacquiao would be the A side in this fight. We want to go A side, B side talk. He would be that. But he would not also be in a position to win in terms of Pacquiao. Because Tank is just too good for him at this stage in his career. Absolutely right now, for me. But it would be Tank backing himself up into a corner because now, whether you fight up here and then you got these other big tests and you don't fight them either, after fighting Pacquiao and you say, I'm moving back down, this is too big for me. You should not have moved up there in the first place. Unless it was for a fight that was easy and you felt you could win. Just like with Lamont Roach. And we saw that turn out. So maybe that's what happens with Pacquiao, hypothetically. If so, that's the best thing in the world. But regardless of which, it is still, like with that same vein of Lamont Roach and Pacquiao, this is not a fight that I think should happen. It's not a fight that I think should be taking place. This is not a fight that I think should be transpiring on the side of Manny Pacquiao or on the side of, more so on the side of Tank than anything. Because you said you didn't want nothing to do with those other weight classes. And now you're going about doing it. And potentially teasing that, yeah, we'll go fight up there. It's a problem. It's a big problem. Let me see. Sonny Augustine. Tank and notorious cherry picker. Yes, he is. Fanboys don't see anything wrong with Diabolical. No, they don't. And it's a shame. Tank staying away from Turkey for a reason. For a real reason fans know better. Or real fight fans know better. Yes. It ain't about the money. Tank could get more money if he fought with Turkey than he would for his career by himself. Though Tank is already a cash cow, yes, he doesn't need him. He doesn't, from a financial standpoint. But you won't get bigger if you don't work with him. If you work with Turkey, you're going to be tested against somebody that is at or above your level. Does not matter who you are. It doesn't. And that's what we're going to see with Tank if that happens. That's part of the reason why, like with a lot of other people, try to talk down on what Turkey's doing. Calling them, whether it's racial rhetoric, whether it's towel boys, whether it's saying you're kissing the ring, whether you're saying it's blood money, all that stuff that's been said. They all did the same thing. They backtracked and came to. And all of a sudden now, Turkey, again, has been operating clean. He has. From the standpoint of on the up and up with everybody. And everything that we say, everything that people say about him, potentially doing all this stuff to his fighters, all of a sudden, every fighter that goes and works with Turkey suddenly is living the best type of life. Suddenly ain't got no qualms. Suddenly is happy with the fights that they're getting and the money that they're garnering. And their cachet is rising more than ever at a quicker rate, at a more consistent rate, because they're in the mind's eye people. Because Turkey's actually being a promoter who promotes everybody under his umbrella. Ain't that just the strangest thing? Ain't that just the strangest thing? And just, let me see. We see how more people in the chat with us right now. Hold on. I'm about missing people. Hold on. Good God. Oh, Lord. We got a lot of people. Shoot. I need to get this thing right so we can be able to pull these things up. Because, good gosh, we got a lot of people coming through in the conversation. Let me see right here. People like me, Cherry fanboys, Abdul Wahid, that's what he changed his name to before coming back, is he Tank Abdul or Tank? Formerly Abdul Wahid, Abdul Lee, is it Abdul Walid? I think I'm saying that right. I'm saying it wrong. I apologize. Is explosive but afraid to go to war? Yes, he is. Fighter time undefeated. Pack, yeah. And he sleeps like Manuel Marquez again. He might. If he goes against Tank, he might. Just because, again, Tank is better than him. Objectively. He just, like I said, I never picked Pacquiao to beat everybody. I got him beating Barrios of the elites of the champions. Unless he all of a sudden shows that he's better than what we've seen in that Barrios fight the next time out. But it's not. It's I don't got him winning. But that's because that fight shouldn't happen in the first place. It's just Pacquiao and Tank. Let me see. I think we got. Do we wait? Hold on. Did we fix it? Let me see. Did we fix the thing? Did we fix it? Yes, we did. Okay, we got it. All right. Okay. All right. We got it back. Thank gosh. All right. Hey. Got it working. Got it back. Thing was on the fritz. Nothing of my volition. We got the chat bot working again. So again, let me do the quick side note to get people involved. This is still the championship rounds where this whole show is dedicated to you all driving the conversation, making your own points, making your voice be heard, letting your own debates fly, questions, conversation in boxing and beyond. If you want to hear my opinions on it, we can go for however long y'all want in terms of going through and making this show great, making this show phenomenal. I still got points. I still prepped for the show. But this is the time on Fridays that we give you all the spotlight to drive the conversation however you all want it to be. And now that we've got the chat bot working again, we're good to go. We can operate like we want to in full capacity now. So let me keep on reading what you all got to say. And as you continue to chat, we'll be able to continue to put your chats on the screen now from this point on. Because for some reason, it wiped everybody that was doing something before. But we got it back now, so we're good to go. Let me keep on reading, though, and let me catch up. Let me pick some of the better ones so we can make sure that we're not wasting time. People are going to pack. Tank cherry picker. Tank explosive. Tank will get knocked out by Troll. Also Troll, thanks for tuning into the show. So glad that you're here. Appreciate you and everybody else coming in on the show with us on today. Sonny Augustine, hit the like button. Yes, please hit the like button if you haven't already. And subscribe if you enjoy what we got going on. No question about it. And so we appreciate it, absolutely. Unfortunately, Tank's body language after the Welch fight in the presser kind of said he wasn't wanting a rematch at all. Brother, that was the same thing that happened with Isaac Cruz. We saw this with Isaac Cruz, brother. It's the same. Oh, no, don't clap for that, doggone it. We got a problem. We got a problem. We got a major problem out here. Brother, this ain't something that's out the norm. Another close fight with Isaac Cruz, though he had a broken hand. He had a broken hand, absolutely. But the brother went and said, no, I ain't never giving that brother a rematch. Which is preposterous. Ridiculous. Like you didn't give somebody like that a rematch who gave you that quality of a fight and people were willing to pay money to see that rematch again at that point in time. Yes, they were. I remember the conversation. We were hoping for a rematch. Brother, this fight with Lamont now would be one of the most lucrative fights of the year if he just signed on the dotted line. You can't tell me there has not been as much angst and anticipation for and against Tank since this draw. There hasn't been. This is the most important fight of Tank's career, legacy-wise. All of a sudden, the gravity of that fight with Lamont Welch usurps nearly everything that Tank has done over the past 5 years. It's usurped and eclipsed every fight Tank has had in the last 5 years. Even we can put this fight with Lamont Welch on par with the fight with Ryan Garcia at that point in time, because this time, all of a sudden, brother, there's some speculation. We were saying that Ryan Garcia might be able to beat Tank because physically and speed-wise, he can give him some work. Then what happened, and he got knocked out. He was injured, weight drain, but he got knocked out. Okay, boom. Questions answered. Now this is a completely different situation. It's a completely different Eastside Cruz. Brother, you did not beat Lamont Roach. And you were healthy. And he got to you. And brother, people say that he beat you. More than half the population says that he beat you on that night of the fight. With the knee, absolutely. Even without the knee, there's still a conversation, but he beat you. All you got to do is set that right and win. Because right now, brother, we can't talk about you in the same vein as the Crawfords, of the Canelos, of the talent-wise, pound-for-pound best in the world. Though you still have that talent, but all of a sudden now, brother, you got pushed to the limit against a brother that you cherry-picked from 130 pounds, who was a champion, but only had one rank, and who had lost to Jamal Herring, and had not shown any semblance of conducive talent up to your level, especially coming up in weight. Expectations were incredibly low, and you almost got beat. And now we want to see if you really about that life, or if you ain't. If you really as good as we think you are, or if you ain't, and he just won't walk the walk. Did it with Eastside Cruz. Now he's doing it with the likes of Lamont Roach. He wouldn't move up to 140 to give Ryan Garcia a rematch, or to fight Devin Haney, or to fight Shakur Stevenson when he is at 135 right now. It's a shame. It's a both-faced shame. So we've seen this before. It's so frustrating. Let me say, y'all sleeping on the pack. Tank don't throw punches like that. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Tank's countering ability is what I'm scared of, though. With how Pacquiao comes in the fray, and with how we see Pacquiao at this stage still slow on the uptick in terms of the reaction time of rolling punches and then getting out the way at the same time and using angles. It's not the same. Old Pac, yeah, he beats Tank. Old Pacquiao, he beats Tank. Old Manny Pac, like the prime Manny Pac, he beats Tank. Absolutely. There's no question. No question in my mind. But this Pacquiao, who has to also pace himself to some degree because of stamina, and also isn't as same fleet of foot to be able to dip and dart like he used to. Tank can catch him. And he can't hurt him. And he can be a potential, again, Marquez situation. Even at an elevated weight class. And so that's where my fear is with that fight. That's why I don't want to see it happening. Teddy Aldo takes a good shot. Yes, you're right, Troll. Question, but let me see. Father time undefeated. Yeah, unless you're LeBron. But right now, it seems like nobody can unless you're LeBron or Bernard Hopkins. And even then, brother, they got beat. Or LeBron still kicking. Bernard almost beat it. Almost. When he came champion at like 48 years old, ridiculous. And fought till he was like 50-something. And we got until he got knocked out by Kovalev. Let me see. Tank needs to rematch Roach? Absolutely, yes, he does. It's his first fight in 6 years. At least wait 2 more fights. I guarantee the perception of those that don't see the vision. And again, mind you, Teddy, mind you, I am strictly saying that with him for just coming back now, and if it's Tank as his first fight, I am scared. But if it is a Pacquiao whose legs have indeed recovered when they went away from him in the Ugas fight, which is why he retired, and he gets in better condition, and all of a sudden we see even a semblance of what we had with Pacquiao against Keith Thurman, Pacquiao against Adrian Broner. Then we got ourselves a conversation that, hey, wait a minute, we might have a great older Manny Pacquiao still giving work to people. But I need to see those other fights. I do. At minimum, if we're going to go back into the fray of the fire, the only fight I want to see in the immediate is against Barrios. Because I think as it stands right now, he can beat Barrios if they rematched again. He absolutely can. He absolutely he can beat him if he fights him again. I wholeheartedly believe that. So that's what I'm saying. Let me see. All good. Okay, talking about. Okay, now we on the chat, so we can actually click on. Let me see. All good. Say I know you're beating boxing. I love it. Yep, we love it absolutely. Let's see. Alex Rucker. Hey, brother. Thanks for coming back. Hey, man. How you doing? Good to see you. So glad that you're here with us today. Again, I'm sorry. I was trying to read through and scroll through, but I'm here now. Thank you so much. So glad you're here, Alex. Thank you for coming through. And hey, appreciate it. You ain't have to. I know you busy. You doing your thing. You handling a lot of business. I know that for a fact. I'm glad you made some time for me today, brother. Appreciate you tuning in. So glad that you're here. Leave a like if you haven't and share the show if you would. And hey, give me some money, doggone it. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Alex Rucker. Yeah, all that time. Yeah, now I know who you are. All that time, but you owe me. You owe me all that stuff I've done for you over the years. Oh yeah, you owe me some bucks. Oh yeah. Oh, this is beef. Everybody, forget all this. Oh, forget the show. Forget the show. It's beef with you and me. This is IRL beefing with you and me, brother. Pay me. Give me. oh boy. Oh shoot. No, okay, I'm kidding. It's all jokes. See me. I know Alex personally. And so we can joke like that. So I don't shake people down. Alex, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please don't end the friendship over that, brother. Please. Oh boy. Again, it's all jokes. It is all, oh Lord, it's all jokes. Let's see. Roach is familiar with Tank's skill set, and Tank will never rematch Roach. And his fanboys know it. So, like, here, and you know what? Let's talk about Tank fans real quick and the facade of Gervonta Davis. Let's take some time. Let's take a walk. Let's slow it down a little bit. Let's take a walk. Why is it that with Gervonta Davis, and we've seen this with subsects of fans, with Canelo, with again Tank, as we're talking about now, with even Floyd Mayweather in the past. Why is it that this level of fandom goes so far as to blind people from the actions of their favorite fighter? That's the one thing I never understood. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, to some degree, I don't. At least to a certain extent. Because I can understand you saying that Tank can beat anybody. Okay, fine. I ain't got no issue with you saying that. I ain't got an issue with you saying that people ain't on some people's level. What I never got was, why is it that with them, and again, other people, like with Canelo, saying that he can do what he wants. He doesn't need Benavidez. Or Floyd Mayweather, hey, he's a businessman. Or he is a businessman. He moves like he moves because he runs boxing. You can't criticize. Why is it that that type of sentiment continues to fester throughout the sport when all we're asking is for Tank and anybody else to prove who the world they are, with how good they are, against the people that would validate the claims of what you say they are? You got plenty of fans of Roberto Duran. You had plenty of fans of Sugar Ray Leonard. But they still needed to fight each other. Hearns and Leonard needed to fight each other. Hagler and Hearns needed to fight each other. Hagler and Leonard needed to fight. The diagram of lines connected with everybody because it was, you had to do it. Regardless of how great we felt you were, you needed to go and show you were really the stuff. Ali and Frazier, I don't care how great you thought Ali was. And I don't care how great you thought Joe Frazier was. They had to fight. They had to fight. They had to. It wasn't negotiable from the standpoint of scaling the greatness at which they showed. If anything, if they didn't fight each other, they would not be as great. It's just the truth. If they didn't fight each other, they would not be as great as we see them as right now. They just wouldn't. And we know that's true. So why is it that when we look at Tank and we say that same thing, we don't, cause see, or why is it that when we look at Tank and we say that same type of rhetoric, all of a sudden it is bad and it is frustrating and it is non-negotiable. You're a hater. You don't know what you're talking about. You're going through and you just trying to shame somebody for their career. Let them make their money. Or you don't know what you're talking about. Or Tank's better than everybody. He doesn't need to prove it to anybody. Why is that the rhetoric that comes into play? Because it makes no sense. Because it only makes it so that when we look at greatness, and if greatness is at this level for you, right here where my fingers at, if this is where greatness is for you and Tank, and what this is all Tank needs to do to be great, get just above you see, y'all see this marker, y'all see this ticker, y'all see the title card, to get just above the title card is all you need to be great all time, let alone in your own era. But when greatness has routinely been the top of the screen, why is it that all of a sudden when we're saying, hey brother, to be great, all you gotta do is be up here, and you're making a great way to do it by getting to this point, but this ain't enough. You need to elevate your game, literally elevate your game, and yet still it is seen as you're trying to rob a man out of his money, rob a man out of having to provide for his family, and all this stuff as if it's a personal attack on saying you don't deserve to make anything. When we're simply saying just prove it. We're simply saying just prove it. Because, I sound like a broken record, I know. I sound like I've said this stuff countless times before, I know. When it comes to Tank, this is the reality of the situation. Gervonta Davis is going to be a fighter that will be forgotten the time when his career is done if he does not get his butt in gear in the next 2 to 3 years. Gervonta Davis is going to mean nothing to what this sport is in the long term if he does not get himself right in the next 2 or 3 years. He will be an afterthought in boxing for all time, outside of the people in time that remember him, if he does not get his butt in gear within the next 2 years, because he has not laid into anything to make anybody view him as anything of note for the greater landscape of the boxing world. That's the truth. That's the truth. It's not because we want, and I'm not trying to make him be bad, but the brother just doesn't go about making his own lane to be memorable. Yet he is hated, or he hates people trying to say you can be great. Just go and fight these people that are also great. Because if you beat them, brother, that makes you even greater. And if you lose, you're still great because you attempted to fight somebody that was also great. It ain't bad. It's never bad. Especially where Tank is right now. It's not a career ender. It's just the brother won't be willing to match up. See, Tank is not willing to back up his own words. Let me forget the fans. Forget the rhetoric. Forget what the people have to say. Let's talk about what Tank said. Tank said, I'm the face of boxing. Tank said, I'm the best fighter in the world. Tank said, there's nobody better than me. Tank said, all these little dogs don't mean nothing to me. Tank said that he is bigger than this division. And Tank said, there's nobody out there who is on my level. And yet he has not fought anybody that's on his level. Forget what the fans say. By what he said, he is also not on his own level. By his own words, that would make him a bum. Because if I say it's daytime and it's night, what does that make me? A liar. Huh? If I say food's hot, but it's actually cold, it makes me a liar. If I say that it's warm outside and it's snowing, that makes me a liar. That's what it is. If I say I can outrun anybody, but then I don't run track, well, brother, you're a liar. Because there's nothing of actual merit to prove what you are is what you are. Not a thing. Not a thing. It's not a thing. You haven't even proven it to yourself. It ain't even like you can't even say that you've timed yourself in your own time trials. If we're talking about track, we can't even say that you have tested yourself in private. Oh, this is what I'm capable of in fights that y'all ain't see in the gym. You can't even say that. It's bad all around. It's bad all around, but it's bought into because the mantra of boxing has been the mantra of boxing of recent has been, you don't need to be great to be great. If you can wear, perfect example. Tank's career is fake jewelry. That's what he did. That's what I was looking for. Tank's career is fake jewelry. Tank's career is fake jewelry. And again, it's like the old adage goes, how you dress is how you perceive. If you look like if a rich man doesn't dress like a rich man, but their clothing is expensive. Plain white shirt will cost $2,000. Sneakers that look like Skechers shoes are $800. Shorts, $500. A plain looking watch, $5,000. A scarf, $600. But it'll look like you're just taking a mundane stroll, and it won't look anything impressive. But the people that wear the flashy stuff, really, it ain't the same. It looks glitz and glamour, but it's all fake and or just blasé. Erode easy. You put a diamond tester to it, it beeps. Or it doesn't beep. Whichever thing the diamond test does to signify something ain't fake. If you stole it, you would be just naked because it wouldn't be worth nothing. It's all a facade. But the facade looks so good. It looks so good. And it can be real. It can look real. It can look real. It absolutely can. But it ain't. But you presented it as that, and people didn't want to take a closer look. Hence, they'll just say, oh, yep, he's got this, that, and the third. He's looking great. It's expensive. Oh, you making money? That ain't the case. Another example, rappers and athletes. You see rappers and their jewelry. It does cost something, absolutely. But their diamonds versus athlete diamonds, it's different. I'm not trying to be disturbed. I'm saying legitimately, it's different. Look at, perfect example, Jalen Hurts wore a chain to a presser, gold chain to a presser. Either during Super Bowl or in some interview for the Eagles. But that thing was dancing like it was a movie star. Real diamonds. You look at diamond chains of not all, but of a lot of rappers. It's not the same sparkle and shine and pristine nature of glitz, because it's not the same quality, but it's posed as this is the real pinnacle of lifestyle. Tank is that type of jewelry. It'll flash and dance, but it's not really the real McCoy. Because if you put that thing to fire, brother, it's gonna melt. It's gonna erode. It's malleable. It is able to be manipulated under any sort of pressure. That's why he stays away like he does, so that the pressure doesn't get to him. Because if he wait, and he just got tested right now, and brother, what happened? his diamond cracked. He just got tested against Lamont Roach, and his diamond cracked. His gold chain got a chink in it. All of a sudden, the green on the back of his neck is starting to show up because all of a sudden that he's had that chain on for too long, and it's some discoloration, not just from gold being there, but from also gold paint rubbing up on the skin. It ain't real. It ain't real. If it was real, guess what? This brother would have been undisputed. If it was real, what Tank brought to the table, he would be unified. If it was real, he would have fought Lomachenko. If it was real, he would have fought Teofimo Lopez at 135. If it was real, he would have fought Devin Haney at 140. If it was real, this brother would be on the pound-for-pound list, top 5, with a resume and accolades that would be one of the greatest of all time. It would. But at this one time, he ain't. Because he is reluctant to put his jewelry to the test. Because just like with Lamont Roach, that thing's beeping. That diamond tester's beeping. Is that the right one? It's beeping? Or is it when it's not beeping? I can't remember which one it is. Either way, them diamonds are cracking. The gold is being manipulated. The discoloration's starting to show. And the fakeness of the facade of what Tank is as a fighter is now starting to get wiped away. Mind you, we said this yesterday. It is the problem of it's the delusion of him. Is what everybody's bought into. The illusion. The genjutsu is what I call it. For my Naruto fans. But it's the delusion. A house of mirrors. Where it's like it looks so great and you look all around, oh, you're here, there, and everywhere. But in actuality, you're still just in one space. You're larger than life in one mirror, but you're short and you're short as grass in another. It's an illusion. Tank's career is an illusion that can no longer be kept up by just knocking everybody out. Because now it's not about knocking people out. It's not about the what. It's not about what you do no more. Now with Tank is about who you fight. Which it has never been that for the past 5 years of his career. It has never been about who Tank fights for the last 5 years of his career. Up until after Lamont. And now he's in danger. And I'm all for it. Not because I'm a hater, but it's going to force him to actually have to go through and fight like he needs to fight against people that are actually worthy of his competition. Let me see. World makes the rules, not us. We all have to prove ourselves. Yes, we do. Absolutely. Let me see. Oh, wait. Yo, what's going on, Exploded? What's going on, Ninja? How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming back to the show. Appreciate you being here with us on today. Yes, it takes someone great to beat another great. No, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And there's a lot of greats out there right now that can at least give a test, and we just want to see him do that. I'm even starting to think Shakur may beat Tank. See, you see, this is good. This is good. This is great. Mind you, the reality of what Tank was versus what Shakur was not as far off as we've been saying it was for almost the entirety of the time. But again, the knockouts blinded a lot of people to overlook the actual quality of the opponents that Tank was facing off against. That now it's like all of a sudden, this last fight with Lamont has made a lot of people reevaluate what Tank is as a fighter and who he has fought. And also, this is why I like what Turkey's been doing with the activity of the rest of the division all around him. With the activity of a Schofield, of a Tevin Farmer, of a Zepeda, of a Shakur, of even at 140. With everybody within that vicinity of Tank, all of a sudden, brother, they've been active, moving, going, fighting. Fights getting announced. Upsets being made. everything's going about, and Tank in his career is staying stagnant, all of a sudden we're looking past just the name because we see there's better stuff on the other side. And that's giving us credence to say, wait a minute, hold on. Have we been the ones that have been not looking at these other fighters in their actual respective nature? And are we playing catch up to what has actually been a legitimate reality of what Tank's best competition is, which is it's dangerous out here. But it's bad in these streets.
Hey, look at this.
It's bad in these streets.
We got some problems
And we're talking about what Tank's competition is, but it's bad in these streets. And by bad, I mean it's dangerous out here. You've been secluded and sheltered if you're a Tank fanboy. Because you were able to just go off of what Tank said. Can't nobody beat him. Yeah, can't nobody beat him. Shakur, you a bum. Devin, you a bum. Ryan, you a bum. Everybody's a bum. But now that you got to actually look into it. Now that all of a sudden wait, so all of a sudden Tank got in some trouble. Not just outside the ring, but in the ring. When terms of, he ain't as dominant. Why ain't he knocking this guy out? This should have happened. This fight should have been done by round 6. What's going on? What's happening? All of a sudden you're panicking because somebody was able to step to him. A fully healthy Tank. Somebody was able to step to him. And now all of a sudden, wait, if we didn't think Lamont was anything, and he was able to stay with Tank for 12 and almost, and in my opinion, beat him, well, wait a minute. Is this Shakur cat really better than Lamont? Is this Floyd Schofield cat better than Lamont? Is Lomachenko, was he really a person that could have beaten them if they had gotten in the ring with each other? Could he have dealt with a bigger Devin Haney? Could he have? And with how we saw Ryan Garcia handle Devin Haney, though, again, with PEDs, I understand. But even still, off the backs immediately of that, it was like, wait a minute. Maybe the size of the likes of Ryan Garcia at 140, fully unrehydrated and healthy, might be able to give him some level of concern. Maybe the weight training thing was true. Maybe. All of a sudden, that cracked rib that Ryan Garcia had in that fight might have actually affected him. All of a sudden, people are saying maybe to a lot of different issues that were not issues when it came to looking at what Tank does. There's a seed of doubt. There's a seed of reflection. There is a window that just appeared in front of a lot of people's eyes within the Tank fanboy house, and all of a sudden the outside is not what he said it was. Now I'm scared, I'm concerned, but I'm also curious because stuff ain't what you said it was. And all of a sudden, but you said that Shakur was a runner. Next thing you know, he's out punching Zepeda and standing in the pocket with him. You said that Schofield wasn't going to be able to deal with elusive boxing. And next thing you know, he knocks out Tevin Farmer in less than a round. All of a sudden, Abdullah Mason's gone from being knocked down to being one of the better defensive and offensive fighters in the division and becoming a champion at such a young age. Wait a minute. Keyshawn Davis wasn't anything, then all of a sudden he knocks out Lemos. Then, though, again, with the whole situation missing with Santa Cruz, that's problematic. But even still, what he is as a fighter, all of a sudden we're looking back and saying, hey, there might be something there. If they ever did get in the ring, we have a bevy of opportunities that Tank is now in an actual fight. And it ain't been like that in a minute. And people are starting to say that wasn't what I was told. And it's starting to change a lot of people's minds. Absolutely. The Tank best win is still a washed up Pedraza. Yeah, that's the thing. His best win is either from what? His best win has been from 3 to 6 years ago. If not long. However long between the drought of Pedraza versus Garcia. His best wins are Pedraza Santa Cruz Garcia, Frank Martin. Those are his best. Those are his best wins. Those are his best wins. And his best win can still be either Garcia, Pedraza, or Leo Santa Cruz. It can't. But it's been years since any of those fights. And it's like it's so frustrating. Have a good one. Got to get some work done. Again, hey, brother, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you joining in on the show. Glad that you were here. And hey, if you want to stop by again, we appreciate it absolutely. And please, enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend. We're going to be here for a minute. So if you come back, hey, we're going to be absolutely preparing and ready. Let me see. Sonny Augustine, facts. But hey, I appreciate it. I'm glad that y'all agree. If you don't agree, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Absolutely. And so, I'm always open to having this type of discussion. Let me see. Even dudes like Mikey Garcia, Josh Taylor, Undisputed, even Devin Haney resume and belts make, it makes him look stupid. It does. And it's not like Devin Haney went through the gauntlet to fight for all the belts. He got the belts from the guy that beat Teofimo Lopez, which again was a shock. And it was like, oh, shoot. But then afterwards, he still fought Lomachenko. Then he fought Ryan Garcia. And so it's like before that, he fought Jorge Linares. Before that. And so it's like he's been legitimately working to be great consistently, fighting people in their own hometowns, in their own country. Like I said, we don't talk about Devin Haney running, because his career is filled with actual, of the big names that we always discuss, he's got some of them on his own resume. He does. And he's fighting Brian Norman Jr. now. So it's like, again, taking tests versus not. People are starting to wake up. Let me see. Even the Jose Ramirez was a unified champ. Tank is just disappointing. All six of those guys could beat Tank in my opinion. And you mentioned, and who did I mention? Oh, talking about, okay, yeah. A lot of now again, even with all that being said, I still think it's few that can beat Tank if they do fight each other, but they are best equipped to beat them. I definitely feel Shakur can. Absolutely, I feel that. I felt Lomachenko, if he had fought Tank, would have been able to beat him. I do. I feel that the likes of Schofield would give Tank some trouble physically, but again, ultimately, I think Tank would beat him. But the majority of people throughout both divisions, 140 and 135, Abdullah Mason as well, would give him quality work and have shown, hey, we are also one of them ones in this division. If you think we're not on your level, that's fine. I may not think that all of them are at the same talent level as Tank. That's perfectly fine. But they're all in the vicinity. It is not one above all, and everybody else is off the screen. Tank, if you think Tank is here, brother, everybody at a baseline is at least right here. That's enough of a gap that something can happen. This is enough of a gap between the microphone and my finger. If this is how you feel Tank is at from the standpoint of talent, this is enough of a gap that something can transpire. Somebody can leap from here to here and get to you and elevate above you on that night. It's possible. It's not here to here. It's not here to here no more. It's here to here. And that is feasible. See, in fact, hold on. There's a perfect example. Hold on. There's a perfect example of this that Roy Jones Jr. said this. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find this clip that better encapsulates what I'm trying to say. Where's it? Hold on. Give me 1 second real quick. Give me 1 second. And also, we just got breaking news that with Boots Ennis, as we were talking with earlier today, we just got some breaking news with him in regard to the boxing world that he has signed with Matchroom. So he signed a multi-fight deal with Matchroom. Actually, confirmed now. So hey, that's great. He signed with Eddie Hearn. Brother, you still gotta work. I don't care who you sign with, brother. You need to fight. And we need to see you take the test that you said you were going to take, because at this point in time, it should have already been happened that you at least had a name or two names that you were looking into. instead of just dead silence. But that's a whole other conversation. But either way, that's some news there. But in terms of the likes of Roy Jones Jr. and I think this will be the last thing I talk about with Tank Davis. Where's it at? I'm gonna see if I can find the clip while on air, so I can come on. Here we go. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Real quick. Let me make sure I got the right point.
And you got to get on that shoulder, you got to chase Khan. Because Khan knew how to box at that time. He used his feet, he was fast and threw combinations.
Faster than Floyd.
Yeah, you understand me? So I know. So
Danny caught him. He was saying faster than Floyd. I think he is faster than Floyd, but Danny timed him.
Yeah,
Danny caught him with a left hook.
Dan different.
I'm not saying Floyd would have knocked him out.
Shoulder, you got to chase Khan.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay, here we go. Okay, I got it. So, yeah, this is a clip with Roy Jones Jr. talking about Floyd Mayweather. He said that Floyd's not in his top 5. Now, he's not in my top 5 either. He's not even in my top 10. However, still, a lot of people can take issue with it. Talking with this, he's going through why he's describing Floyd as not in his top 5. Not saying he isn't a great fighter, but for what he needed to see in his career. Going with that, he touches on how he went about his career. And it's 3 minutes, so I ain't gonna play the whole thing. But I think this last bit it says exactly what I've been saying about what Tank is doing right now.
Because Khan knew how to box at that time. He used his feet, he was fast and threw combinations.
Faster than Floyd.
Yeah, you understand me? So I know. So
Danny caught him. He was saying faster than Floyd. I think he is faster than Floyd, but Danny timed him.
Yeah, Danny
caught him with a left hook.
Dan different.
I'm not saying Floyd would have knocked him out, but Floyd
Danny got different,
him,
and then also got a different left hook.
Yeah, that's a fact.
But you didn't even take that chance to see. Here's a guy that we think that may give you a good fight. You ain't gonna take that chance to see. That's all I'm saying. So no, you're not gonna fight nobody that you think might beat you. No, you're not. You ain't fight nobody that we thought might beat. The only person y'all gave a chance to was too young.
Right.
And I ain't gonna say he was too young to be honest. I'm saying he just fought the wrong fight. Yeah, he fought the wrong fight because you're not too young. Right. Your people and you should be blamed for that because y'all fought the total wrong fight. You got a 16-pound weight advantage. Why are you boxing?
But obviously you would fight Floyd if that presents itself, right?
Like who would not fight if it presents itself?
Right.
So
he ain't the only one.
He's and again, he still really does want to fight Floyd Mayweather. I don't think he should, but still, he's still looking for that fight. But again, that right there, that instance, I think
that may give you a good fight. You ain't gonna take a different left hook.
Yeah,
but you didn't even take that chance to see.
That's the issue. That's the problem.
Here's a guy that we think that may give you a good fight. You ain't gonna take that chance to see. That's all I'm saying. So
it's not about whether we think Floyd Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao or anybody, but specifically regarding Tank. It's not about whether we think you have the ability to beat anybody. I don't care if I think you're better than somebody or not. I could care less how great I think you are as a fighter. The whole issue with Tank right now that Roy had with Floyd, that we're seeing now with Tank, you're not even attempting to take the opportunity to fight against people that we even think has a chance to beat you, even if it's low. We're not talking about a puncher's chance. We're talking about competitors that have actual shots of like, hey, brother, he brings something to the table that we see might give you some trouble. Not saying they're going to win, but they got something that you got to show, hey, I can handle this. And you don't even take the opportunity to fight them with that slim chance that they have because they're seen as a valid contender in some sort of capacity. That's what we're seeing with Tank Davis. Everything about him, he is not fighting people that even have an inkling of ability to be close to his level. Surprise with Lamont Roach is great, but guess what? After that, there's people that we have all watched and followed that have an even better opportunity to beat Tank Davis, and he isn't taking that test at all, running from it in any way, shape, or form. That's the problem. Tank is not even attempting to try. He is not even attempting to shut up people, and we're not even talking about the Shakurs. We're not even talking about the number 1 and number 2 option. We're saying anybody that has a legitimate weight of talent against you, you ain't doing nothing with. And it just hurts me so much. It just hurts. It hurts me so much about this. And so let me hold on. I'm trying to make sure going through. Let me see. Mayweather attacking Roy was again. He's been doing that to anybody that criticizes him about his ranking in all-time conversation. And mind you, he's a student of the game in terms of Roy Jones and Mayweather. Mayweather is just petty. He is. He's been like that for years. And he's been like that to people that have had his best interests at heart. So it's frustrating. It really is. It really is frustrating. And so it's like, and I'm being kind. Floyd in reality of boxing, 1880 to 2025, 150 years. He's the 40th best. Now, see, I think he's higher than that. Like, Floyd, I got Floyd in my like top 25. That's no problem. I ain't got no issue with that. Beyond the rank, I ain't gonna put him 50. I don't think there's. I've seen 50 people better than Floyd Mayweather in my studying of history in boxing. Watching and understanding their careers, also their fighting styles and all that stuff, which again, everybody brings a different style. But just as a fighter, I can't say there's 25 people better than him. And that's not me trying to glaze. That's real. That's real. Now, beyond that, we have a different conversation because, again, there's been some all-time greats amongst all-time greats that make up that list. But that's a whole nother conversation. Regardless of how you feel about him, that gripe about Floyd is valid even with all the accolades that he does have. Most world champions beaten, 22 world champions, I believe, undefeated as a fighter, has been fighter of the year multiple times, has been pound for pound number one, or at least top three, and for most of his career. In that vicinity for most of his career. He is elite. Don't get me wrong. He's one of the greatest ever. I'm not diminishing that. That's still a gripe that is a problem for his career. And so it's like Roy encapsulated exactly the problem with Tank right now. He just isn't even attempting to do the problem. Let me see. Roy said Floyd was top 10 all time, not just top 5. Again, he might have said that earlier in the interview. Or earlier in that clip. I only played the snippet of it I was trying to gauge off. But again, for Roy has him top 10. I got him within, again, that top 25 area. Not where in that, I got to think. I'm not putting him low. Trust me. I'm not trying to put him and just devalue him and make him horrible. I'm not doing that. But there is a threshold he also didn't reach. At least in my regard. Let me see how you can't have Floyd over guys like Archie Moore in 1950s. No way. Again, like I said, again, making a list of all-time conversations is a completely different threshold. Because now we're going into like history. And I know my stuff, but I don't know. I'm still learning. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I gotta make a list. I gotta put together a list of top 25. Because I know he's in there. And he might even be elevated above you. I'm not trying to put him under. I'm not trying to put him under Archie Moore. I'm not trying to put him under Ezra Charles. Oh, excuse me. I'm not trying to put him over Archie Moore, Ezra Charles. If we want to go with Henry Greb, if we want to go way back, if we want to go Henry Armstrong. I'm not trying, and others like. I'm not trying to diminish anybody's legacy when ranking them. But again, ranking is a whole new can of worms, especially when we're talking about just greatest ever. I got to consult some experts with that. I got to listen to some people that have been in this game for 40, 50 years. I can't lie. But I know from what I do know, he is within that top 25 threshold. Where at? I am not sure. I will have to do some research on it. Full disclaimer. But again, I'm not trying to discredit nobody else. And let me be honest. I'm not trying to discredit him over nobody else. I ain't got no concrete record. Please believe me. I'm just trying to say, as a whole, he's in my top 25 of fighters that I've seen and that I've studied in boxing history. And so, but let me see. Floyd is over Kawasaki, Tony, B-Hop, Terry Norris. Well, and see, with James Toney, this is going to sound bad, but I do think it's true. If James Toney was not as aggressive as he was in his career, he would have been, I think he might have been able to be undefeated as well. Or at least only retire with one loss. If he was fighting like if he fought straight up defensively, like straight defensively without wanting to go for KOs like he was doing and using the offense the way that he did, that would have been, I think he could have gotten close. I think the same level of not just outright dominance, but also like record wise, I think he could have done it. That, and if he never fought Roy Jones Jr. If he had just fought straight up defensively. Now again, if I'm wrong, please tell me. Please tell me. But James Toney is a that's a unique circumstance because he gets undervalued a ton. But brother, at his best, he was incredible as a fighter. My gosh. And see this right here. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong for that. You're wrong for that. You're wrong for that. You are wrong for that. You are so wrong for that. But it's the truth. He probably wouldn't have because he would have gotten out of shape. He would have gotten out of shape at some point or another. Because, boy, that cat went from, he got up to heavyweight. When I found out that James Toney had gotten to heavyweight, I couldn't believe it. Mind you, the first time I had seen James Toney, even heard the name, was in Fight Night Round 2. It was. Because again, as y'all know, I played that game a whole bunch when I was younger. That's the first time I saw James Toney. And James Toney was big in that game. I did not put together. I didn't put it together up until years later that skinny James Toney with the flat top was the same James Toney that was the fat James Toney at heavyweight. I didn't put it together up until like 10 years after I played that game. And I was so shocked. I was asking myself, brother, what happened? What happened? How? What in the world could have caused you to get like that? I couldn't believe it. I legitimately thought they were two different people. It was insane. I was one of the strangest things I had ever seen. But let me keep on going. Let me keep on reading what you all have to say in the chats down below. Larry Holmes, Larry Holmes never unified. Wait, now I thought, did he really never unify? Hold on, let me look this up. Let me look this up real quick. Let's do some research real quick. I know he got the second longest reign in heavyweight history outside of Joe Louis. I know that for a fact. I know he was able to compete up until he was 43. I know after he lost to Tyson, he beat Ray Mercer. So he was still like elite at heavyweight, even at that old age of late 40s. And when he really looked like, why are you fighting anymore? He still had some incredible boxing ability. But I thought he had became undisputed at some point. Did he not? Let me see. Let me see real quick. I'm researching. I'm looking it up. Okay, he did become undisputed champion at one point in his career. So he did have all the belts. Now, was that before or after the belts started splitting up and there were multiple titles? I am trying to remember. I can't remember for certain, but I do know at least, and looking it up right now, he was undisputed champion. So he did have at one point in time all the belts in his possession. And that was in. Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm looking it up. Hold on. Give me a second. We are researching. We are finding out. Okay, so he was 78. He won the WBC title. Defended it a lot of times. Oh, okay. Excuse me. I read it wrong. My apologies. He held the WBC for a while. He held the Ring Magazine, lineal titles, and the IBF title. But he never held them all at the same time. My apologies. Excuse me. I misread. I do apologize. Now, wait, hold on. Wait a second. Now I'm getting two different things. I'm getting two different articles saying two different things. One of them is saying that he was undisputed. Other one was saying that he held undisputed, that he held the belts, but all at different points, but was never fully undisputed as a fighter. Hold on. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Hold on. We got some differentiating points. Where's it at? Was this buddy undisputed? Was he undisputed or not? Hold on now. Hey, brother, don't make me go to Wikipedia. I normally don't, because I try to have my sources right, but at this point, I might have to, because this is ridiculous. Yeah, so he won the WBC, and he held that on for a minute. He then went and got the WBA. Excuse me, I'm sorry. He got the IBF. And he got the lineal. Okay, so yeah, so it's looking like, and I hope I'm right. It's looking like he never won the belts at the same time. Okay, yep, y'all got it. Okay, yep, y'all beat me to it. I was trying to research and find out. I am so sorry. I was trying to find out. I apologize. Y'all beat me to it. I had the chat minimized so I could do it, so I could try to look it up myself. But yeah, I think he had most of the major belts at the time, but he never got undisputed outright because holding them all at the same time. He fought Mike Tyson for the undisputed title, and then he lost. So he didn't become undisputed champion. He could have gotten all the belts and the lineal belt together if he had beaten Mike Tyson, but got knocked out, as we know he did. So no. So he's been lineal. He's been WBA. I'm sorry, WBC. He's been IBF. He's fought WBA champions or who would have been future champions in WBA. But he never won all the belts together. So his reign as a heavyweight champion spanned for years across multiple different belts, but he was never undisputed. There we go. Okay, we figured it out. All right. Thank gosh. Thank goodness. I was tripping. Something wasn't adding up because I legitimately, I really thought he had won all the belts. But he won the majority of them, just individually, but never all together. So yeah, so Young Guns, you right. Holmes was never undisputed, absolutely. I thought it was again between 1978 and the 80s, but as we know now, that wasn't the case. We can't have Mayweather over Tommy Hearns, and again, it's with the rankings of, that's a whole nother show in and of itself. Sadly, I gotta set aside time for it, because if we're gonna have that conversation, I gotta come prepared, because brother, I know my stuff, but even then, with the amount of greatness that we've seen with boxers just in welterweight, let alone heavyweight, let alone lightweight, it's so much. So it's a lot to take into account. I can't lie. And so let me see. You know, one of us altogether, 100%. He was never undisputed. Yes, he was not. No, Young Guns is right, absolutely. Larry's a beast. I'm not trying to tear him down. Yeah. No, I feel you. Like I said, we're trying to figure it out. we like this would be a lot easier if we didn't have all these belt commissions coming into play. But because we do, we want to make sure we're gonna get somebody a title. We get in the right title. Like that's the whole issue with Teofimo Lopez. With whole, was he ever undisputed? Was he really undisputed? The franchise title was the thing that they had for the WBC for Lomachenko. He beat him. But then that wasn't the actual title, but it was the actual title when Lomachenko had it. So I'm like, I'm all confused with that whole situation. And so it's like we researched that. Hey, look, I'm glad you researched. Nothing wrong with that. Hey man, hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. We're on this show. We have no problem not knowing what we're talking about. We have no problem. Because we will find out. Because I can give my opinions in debates. Absolutely. I can give my viewpoints on it. But also, I gotta give it with a sense of I know what I'm getting into. And so you all, the public, y'all deserve to have a level of grounded info. So regardless of what I say, we're all on the same level ground of the fundamental understanding of what is involved with the context of this conversation. Because if I just go off flying off the hill with stuff and I'm wrong, brother, y'all gonna be saying I look like a fool. Y'all gonna be saying, but this brother don't know what's up. This cat is just spouting nonsense. Why? You gonna click on whatever other video you want to do. And you're going to go to somebody else's live, which, again, if you do, hopefully you enjoy your time. Not speaking against anybody, but I want to keep you here. So I want to keep you here. So I got to make sure if I'm going to talk about it and I don't know it, I'll find out. I ain't going to with you. And I ain't got no part of being wrong in any sort of conversation because to trust and believe, it's better to learn. It's better to be wrong and learn than to be wrong and be stubborn. Because, brother, if you stubborn, now you just stuck, and you ain't never going to get better. Now I'm trying to get better every time, every chance I get. Let me see. Hold on, wait a minute. Let's see. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out who did what. Let me see. Why you scared? Why I'm scared for getting into that all-time great GOAT conversation, if this is what this conversation is referring to. I'm not scared of the conversation. I'm scared that I ain't got enough knowledge to fully have that encapsulated. Because, brother, top 25 all time for the history. That's like, we know names. We do. But even then, like some of the biggest names that we have in boxing also aren't in that top 25 list. And we may wrongfully put them there, though their cachet is bigger. And it's a lot of history to go through. I'm gonna be real with you. So I gotta take some time to really figure that out. And I'm gotta take my time to figure that out. I'm not into the T sector, bro. Just boxing. If drama, T, stuff going on in the background of boxing, it's all valid. And there is a place for content for that. Absolutely. And I respect it is necessary. Because without that, one, it helps drive the sport, and two, it helps to lay the wider contextual groundwork for what goes on with the sport today. Adds gravitas and adds some level of weight. I understand. But at the same time, there comes a point where it gets too out of hand. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be real. The way we try to do this channel, whether it's boxing or beyond, we don't want it to be where it's drama-laden without the biggest thing that we care about, which is the fights. Who's going to win? How they going to win? Why they going to win? And if you don't think they're going to win, what's the case? Or legacy? How great are you in the landscape of boxing? What can you attain? What can you reach? Are you coming up on somebody? Are you similar to somebody else? Those types of conversations, we want substantive talk here. Laugh, fun, sure. We'll get into drama from time to time if it's worth talking about. We've done it before, but we do it in a manner that we always reverts back to what does it mean for the sport today. Not about whether or not somebody just punking out just because. Not just trying to say he's scared because Canelo is so good, da 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 da, or Tank's so good, da 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 da. They don't want to duck. They don't want this smoke. We don't do that. We don't do that. We try to keep it as where you getting something out of this conversation. That's what we trying to do. Hopefully we're creating that type of environment. Hopefully we are. Also, I almost forgot to say, what's up, BB? I almost forgot. My bad. I'm so sorry. How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks so much for tuning in to the show. Also, Young Guns, where's that? How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning into the show. So glad that you're here. Appreciate you joining us on this Friday afternoon. Definitely, you didn't have to spend the time with us, and I'm so glad you did, though, because it means the world to me. Absolutely. But let me keep on reading what you all have to say. Boxing is hard to follow from all belt sanctioning bodies. Who's ducking who? And mind you, a lot of times it's not even the boxers that are ducking the fights. A lot of times it's the commissions that don't make mandatories happen when they're supposed to happen. So somebody doesn't get their opportunity like they deserve. But that can be seen as ducking. Then they got to go fight XYZ. They got to go through this roundabout way, not of their own volition. Or it's promoters doing bad matchmaking and not promoting and making their fighter big enough so that they can actually get in a position where they can have some negotiating power to get this fight to happen with these other major players. Most of the time. And again, Turkey, I'm not trying to glaze. I'm being real. Turkey has been a prime example of if you have somebody as a promoter who just does the work of a promoter and is about the fight and nothing else, no drama, no trying to hold your side of the street, no trying to get a conglomerate by you, oh, we got all the fighters and we ain't risking nobody. We got a stable, we trying to keep it healthy. Nah, bump that. Just make the quality fights. All of a sudden, people that we've been saying are scared to get in the ring with some folks, they've been getting in the ring with people. All of a sudden, all the rah-rah of what somebody is or is not, it's gotten a lot quieter because the fights are getting made. And the fighters want these fights to happen. They do. And now it is happening. You're not getting nearly as much of ducking talk as we used to. And if it is ducking talk, it's because it's actual ducking circumstances. It's like, okay, yeah, this did happen. And you did not take this opportunity of your own volition when the road was open. That's a duck. We can call it that because it matches up. But in the past, it was so convoluted, you could take what the belt commission does and turn it into that, hey, you didn't want to fight. That's not my fault. I wanted to fight. If I'm a boxer, I wanted this fight. The powers that be are not letting this happen. They want my career going to a different direction. The belt commission isn't making me the mandatory like I deserve. So I can't force my way into the issue, though I should be able to. Again, corruption, deceit, money, mafia, all that stuff. The history of the sport, like we've said, has been corrupt for 100 years and longer. That has been a big part of why we have all this confusion and befuddlement. And it's ridiculous. I don't know how a casual fan can follow. And that's why I'm here. Hopefully that's why I'm here. To help make it easier to digest what's going on where so that we can have a better, easy road, even in this convoluted vein, to at least have a latching on through point that if you can get this, then everything else makes a little more sense as time goes on. Hopefully I'm providing that level of insight to help it be easier to follow. Hopefully I am. But if I can be better, please let me know. Please let me know. Let me see. Let me see. We have a lot of people commenting. My gosh, I am trying not to miss anybody. Shoot. Great day. We got a lot of people. Welch don't know about the T sector. It's female community of disgruntled women. Hey, look, like I said, I don't speak for them. I don't speak against them. I ain't got no beef with nobody. Hopefully ain't nobody got beef with me. As we grow, hopefully we get a community that people want to go through and collab with us, work with us, like what we say, use our show as reference. Maybe that happens. I ain't stepping on nobody's toes. Only thing I'm doing is calling it like we see it. And we do what we do. And they do what they do. What they do is good for what their audience is. What I'm trying to garner from my audience, hopefully it's good as well. But I ain't speaking against nobody. Hey, you do what you do. I'm gonna say what I say, and it ain't gonna be ill-willed in any capacity. But we rock how we rock here on the channel, because this is what we wanted to be. Now let me see. Younger, that's why my friend in chat. Wait, hold on. Wait, what's going on? Lord, we ain't trying to have no beef in the chat. we ain't trying to have no beef in the chat now. Oh Lord, we don't need a bully. Hey now. Hey, hold up.
We got some problems.
We're supposed to be a community. We're supposed to be a community here. We don't need no infighting. Good gosh, we don't need no infighting. Lord, oh Lord, let me see. Let me keep on reading. I'm scrolling through briskly because we had a lot of people commenting, so I'm trying to pick out some of the better ones as well. Let me see. Tank arguably the best wins. Barrios just lost to a 46-year-old Pacquiao. And again, I don't want this episode to be just about Tank. I don't. I'm trying to open up to more stuff. But good gosh, we done double back. I ain't got no problem with it. I ain't got no problem with it. But I'm gonna say this. Some of Tank's wins have now looked to age poorly. Is it fair to say? Is that fair to say? Let's draw up a new conversation. Is that fair to say that a lot of Tank's wins ain't matching up greatly like it used to when he initially got these, based on what's happened since he's fought them? And to some degree, does that speak more to what Tank has been doing or the fighters that he's been fighting? And if we may add, let me see. Got a politic at the sanctioning body conference? Yes, you do. I hate it, but good gosh, you do. True Pack didn't clause him. Tank the clause county. Yeah, Tank be doing a whole lot of clauses when it comes to boxing. Welch would triple his subscription if he would introduce the T sector. Hey, look. Hey. Look, I'm gonna be real. If I went full blown into the drama that we see with other channels, which again, all due respect to them, they're doing their thing. One, it's hard for me to even go about trying to keep up with that, because seemingly it's something every day. I'm getting food with truth and lies all the time. But I went to watch Fantastic Four last night. Phenomenal movie, by the way. Incredible. Absolute. That is the best Fantastic Four movie that they've made. Even better than the one in what was it, 03? Was it early 2000s, 03? When they had like the Ben Grimm that was like with the particle effects, that was the best Ben Grimm they had made. That was the best one. Fantastic Four movie. That and the Silver Surfer. Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer in the early 2000s. Those two were the best ones they made. This one is better than that one. I guarantee. I'm telling you, it's so good. If y'all want my review, I can give it to you. But same time, at that same movie, I got a notification at the end of the film that Gervonta Davis had retired. Now that was the wrong button. I wasn't trying to cheer that the news that Tank had retired came across my phone. That was the wrong sound that played. It was supposed to be this. It was supposed to be that. So shock and awe. And so, but I think that was, but when I went to look at it, it was like, it wasn't actual retirement. It was just drama. And it fooled me. And it got me going. And but like stuff like that, I can't keep up with it. I can't do it. And also it just ain't me. It just ain't me from the standpoint of I don't like the, what you call it? How do you say this? I don't like the ability, well, not ability. I don't like the seemingly petty is the wrong word. A lot of it seems, and this is going to sound harsh, but useless to me when I'm listening to it. When I listen to the podcast or whatever the case may be, and I'm trying to get news or whatever the case, and I want to learn, I want to grow, I want to try to, understand the sport better, the ins and outs of it, business and whatever. When it gets to the drama type stuff, it turns into frivolousness. It turns into like what useless. Why is this coming across my timeline? And this doesn't mean anything to me. And it's like, is this real? Is it fake? If so, one, how in the world is this possible? And two, why in the world is it relevant? And then it's something to get people going. I get, but I never liked. I just never liked. That's why I don't think I'll ever go down that road. We'll still be fun. We'll still talk about drama when it comes up, because there's been a litany of drama when it comes to negotiations, when it comes to fights being made or not being made, stuff in terms of contract disputes, stuff in terms of people committing but then not committing. Why is that happening? Track records of stuff that's going on with how boxers are operated in the past. We'll cover that, absolutely. But like the other stuff, it just ain't me. It just ain't me. It just ain't me at all. Let me see. Okay, 2003. Okay, thank you for putting me on with the actual date. Let me see. Did you see did I see it? No. I didn't see it in regular theater. I saw it in IMAX. Oh yeah. We saw that movie live. Well, not live. We saw that movie IMAX debut in its full glory. And brother, it is a chef's kiss of a superhero film. I ain't gonna spoil nothing. But they built up what the Fantastic Four was in that world. Phenomenal. Beautifully. As a big time team, they made them be presented as a big time team beyond just a New York scale. It was incredible. It was phenomenal. It had that 60s level vibe to it. Again, I think it's set in the 60s at that point in time. And it's like it didn't dwell on unlike with other movies when it was they're trying to grow into their powers, trying to understand it, look into like with the 2003 one. How do we make good of this bad situation and still be a family together? Now it's like it's more so they are established as a team. And what they do with that, presenting them as such, it's incredible. Silver Surfer, phenomenal. Galactus, oh my gosh. Galactus,
Hey, look at
brother.
We got some problems.
Whoa, they did him good. I'm going to tell you that. I'm not going to spoil nothing. They did him good. They did him really good. That's all I'm going to say. They did him really good. And the imposing threat of what he is as a world eater, you get the scale. You'll find yourself leaning forward the second he gets on the scene. You'll find yourself leaning forward a lot of times. It's ridiculous. And also, there's a scene at the end. I'm not gonna spoil it, but somebody shows up and it's like, oh, they that strong? That's shoot. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You're gonna see it. And it's good. It's good. It is I would say as a movie, that is a 7.5 to 8. That's a 7.5 to 8 movie. That's a movie. I'd watch that again. I'd watch that a couple times. It was good. Now, the pacing is a little bit slower. I'm gonna be real. Pacing's a tad bit slower. It can go up and down, fast and slow, but more so it's slow. When it picks up quick though. But it's more of a slower pace type film. But that does not in any way detract from the quality. Oh, it's great. If you can see it, please see it. And see it in IMAX if you can. If you can. I get it. It's expensive. I didn't want to do it. My friends talked me into it. I was hoping to see it in regular. Because, brother, that's $6 cheaper. But you know what? Money well spent. It was money well spent. And I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it. Remember the HD cinema? I don't remember that. I don't think that might be before my time. Wait, you talking about when HD was just becoming a thing? That was a feature? Wow. I did not know that. Man, the more that you learn. Well, now you got IMAX. Regular theaters HD. IMAX is ridiculous. incredible. You might be able to, now if you really want to get an experience, watch it in what's it called? Like 40X. Where it's like you got glasses and you got like the seats moving and all that stuff. So you like if they fly, you fly. If they get hit, your chair gets hit. Don't eat nothing. Don't have if you have popcorn, make sure you have it covered. Cause but it's going flying. I promise you that. But let me see. But it's good. But IMAX, yeah, IMAX was cool. It was great. I love it. I saw Monsters Inc. in IMAX. Oh really? I didn't even know they had Monsters Inc. in IMAX back then. Or not back then. I thought that was just. I didn't know they had Monsters Inc. in IMAX. Huh? Interesting. Very interesting. News to me. But either way, great film. 7.5 to 8. Really good. It's got rewatchability. Dynamics great. The team itself, as they blend together, is great. The world building is phenomenal, and the characters and villains are indeed worthwhile. I love it. I'd watch it again. So I recommend it. I definitely do recommend it. Absolutely. There was Superman in IMAX was levels. Was levels. The one versus Zod. Hey, I need to see Superman. I need to see it. Don't spoil it for me. I only had enough movies. Right? I only had enough money for one at a time, so I had to pick. And so we went to see Fantastic Four because it was a premiere day. I'm going to see Superman at some point. And they saying Superman is better than this, than a Fantastic Four. And Fantastic Four, brother, that's a top 15, or shoot, that's a depending on how you feel, that's a top 15 to 17 Marvel movie in the MCU of the timeline, if you want to be one of the rankers. So it's like, it's up there. So if you can be better than that, oh my gosh, yeah, I love to see it. I would love to see it. I can't wait. Let me see. Yo, what's going on, brother? What's going on? How you doing? Good to see you. Hold on, something's going on, man. Hold on, wait a minute. Okay, I thought the chat went awry again. Shoot, I got scared out my mind. Let me see. Sack, salute Welch. How was Fantastic Four? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Buddy, that's thumbs up. That's great. 7.5 to 8. 7.5 to 8. First time seeing it. It was stupendous. I think you just came in right when I was describing it. Characters were great. The dynamic of the team is incredible. They are viewed as a big time team and presented as such. And it works so well. And Galactus, brother, he is, yeah, you're going to feel why they call him the World Eater. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel the gravity and the weight of him popping up on scene when you get there. It's good. It's slower pace. So if you like fast-paced movies, it might take a minute to get into. But it's good. It's really good. It's really good. Let me see. Young Guns, Moses Talma. If Moses KO's white in impressive fashion, man, am I crazy to think he is only one more elite win away from getting an Usyk fight? Does beating Wardley or even a Hergovich do it after? Or after that do it? Well, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you right now. Brother, he might get that fight next regardless of the Dillian White fight. He might. Turkey Al Sheikh wants him to go through and fight. He wants a Talma versus Usyk. The brother does not. The ring already said they're not going to put up a purse bid for the fight with Usyk versus Joseph Parker that is now in official negotiations. Turkey wants that fight. If he can make that fight happen, that's the fight he would make. Now again, any other commission or any other promoter can take up that fight with Usyk and Parker and put it on their card. They can. It's just Riyadh season is not going to put up a bid for it. It can still happen. I still want it to happen. But if Turkey had anything to say, it would be Usyk versus Moses Talma. Now, I don't think he should fight him now. I'm going to say that. I don't think, wrong button. I don't think he should fight him now. I don't think he would be ready even after Dillian White. But, it'll be a good fight. Maybe 2 fights down the line, sure. Absolutely. I don't think after Dillian, it would be that he should get that shot if we want the best of Moses and Talma to be able to face off against Usyk. If we want that, Don't have him fight Usyk after White. Have another fight. Absolutely. Even then, it's a little bit early, but it's still better than putting him directly after White to go and face off against Usyk. But yeah, 2 fights is all he needs to get a shot at the title. I promise you. You spot on about you ain't out the question for that. He's 2 fights away. He's max 2 fights away from getting a fight with Usyk. Minimum might be 1 after this fight with Dillian White if we see Usyk stay around after Joseph Parker. So it can happen. It can happen real quick. And I hope it does happen in quick. I hope it does happen in spectacular fashion. So that we can see it take place. Let me see. Where's that? Keep on reading. Batman versus Superman 2000s, bro. Talk about the movie? You talking about the talking about the movies? Or you talking about the Are you talking about the movies that came out with both of them? Are you talking about the Batman v Superman movie that came out? Or are you talking about the characters as a whole, who would be who? A little bit confused about what this is asking, but still, unless you're responding to somebody else. I think Dillian White stops Moses Atalma. I think Atalma knocks him out. I think he knocks him out. I think he knocks him out. I think he knocks him out. I truly do think he knocks him out. And let me see. We got hold on, wait a minute. Galactus heavier than Thanos? Yes. Yes, but Galactus is, comic book wise, Galactus is bigger than a planet. And he has a ship that's bigger than him. And we're going comic books. But Galactus Thanos can't do nothing with Galactus. Galactus ends civilizations, not because he's evil, just because he needs to eat to survive. That's the thing. Galactus is literally a entity older than time. Okay, going off of the history. Like he's been around since around existed. And his whole he's almost like an element in the universe. He has to exist. And he exists to feed. Because he has to do that to survive. It's like a law of the jungle. And he just is at the top of the food chain. And so Thanos ain't doing nothing with that, but Galactus is way bigger threat than Thanos. With all due respect to Thanos. For WBO, Moses ranked number 1, Herbert's ranked number 2. Both are in the same card on Moses and White. Yeah, like I said, it could be that if it goes right, Moses gets that shot immediately because he's ranked number 1. If Usyk does indeed stay around and box longer than just retiring after 2 fights. If he's saying 38 is young, buddy, that means he's got more in the tank. That means I want to see that fight. Absolutely. If not, you should make it so that Hergovich and Moses fight each other, and the winner of that gets to fight against, maybe Fury. If Fury still stays around for the vacant undisputed titles or one of the titles, whatever the case can be, it can happen. But regardless of how it goes, the road is 2 fights away, maximum, 1 fight away minimum, that we'll see Atalma get a shot at the title. And I'm excited for it. Wait, hold on, time out. Wait. I got a shocking story. I think I dated Atalma's mother in the 90s. She's a white woman, Slovenian, and I'm sure it was her. Well, you sure? Are you positive? That's a pretty shocking development, brother. One, I hope it ended well. I hope it ended well. 1, the relationship. 2, I'm not even going to ask how it ended. Were you able to keep in contact with her? Because if so, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm trying to use you, but if so, and if you're in the good graces, you could potentially help us secure an interview with Moses Atalma on this very show. I just jokes, but genuine. That is interesting. That is really interesting. My gosh. Shoot. So that means, dang. So you dated you dated his mom for 2 weeks, and then it kind of just fizzled out. Hopefully everything ended well. But it's like wow, that is some insight. I can say that is some insight. Is it good or bad insight? That's not for me to say. But that is some interesting insight nonetheless. Let me see. I dated his mother in a place called Chelmsford near London for 2 weeks many years ago. 25. Okay. So this was a while back. It was a while back. Man, my gosh. So shoot. Well, hey, you got some level of connection to what we're saying right now with history. So hey, congrats to you. Mazel tov. Huzzah. And that is, see, look, this is why I like this community. Can we keep getting a cast of characters and a cast of stories that just exists all throughout life? We've had somebody buy fights to Virgil Ortiz and now has a lifelong grudge because Ortiz didn't even fight on the card because he had to pull out. We've had people that grew up watching the rise of George Foreman and like the early days of Ali and coming through here. It's like now we got people that got relationships with some of the people that are on some of the biggest proponents of cards today, like with Moses Atama. I mean, it's just, you never know what to expect. You never know what to expect right here on this show. This is why I like it. This is why I love it. This is incredible. I love this. It's phenomenal. Now again, hopefully it ended well. Hopefully we ain't got no potential stories of anything going awry without a relationship in. And hopefully, again, you're doing well now and everything's all well and good with you. But this is, man, shoot, talk about surprise. Also, I did not know you were from London or you were from over in the UK. That is interesting. That's interesting. So now we've had people from London, New Zealand, Australia, Philippines, I think China and Japan, India, and one more place outside of the U.S. We getting around. Hey, we getting around. Mexico, that's what it, Mexico. Yep, I forgot Mexico. Had it from Mexico. It's great. It's phenomenal. I love it. I do love all of this. Grandeur and nuance in people and sex from all walks of life. It's great. I love it. I can clap it up for yourselves, because y'all make this community really, really special. You really, really do. You really do. I'm happy. I appreciate this. If I didn't tell y'all before, I do appreciate this, because this is something that, we building. We small. Full disclaimer. But my gosh, I never thought we'd make a community this diverse and this much of an enthusiastic type of frame. And it does my heart good, man. It really does. I appreciate it. And I appreciate all of you all being here with me on today. But my gosh, we have so many. No, it's crazy. It is indeed wild. Essex University campus. Okay, man. So shoot. So y'all met in college. And you had a fling. Fizzled out. No hard feelings. My gosh, man, that's a great story. That's a good story. Hey, that's a world exclusive. My gosh, if we keep going down the rabbit hole, but we might just find somebody connected directly to the likes of one of the best boxers in the world today, whoever that may be. I'm excited. Hey, keep on putting your life on display. We may just find our connections. Who knows what we may find? Who's got ties to the world of boxing as we continue to go through? This is incredible. This is incredible. I do appreciate it. Absolutely. But let me keep on reading. Nerd, like what Nerd coming through with us today. Hey, brother, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks so much for tuning into the show. So glad that you tuning in with us today. Again, we are in the championship rounds. Dallas, Texas in the house. Hey, brother, how you doing? Also, Texas, I know y'all had, was it heavy rains and flooding that was going about a couple weeks ago? I hope y'all are okay. I hope everything's going okay for you all. I hope you all are indeed safe and sound wherever you are in Texas, and if you are in Dallas. I don't know the specifics of it, but I do know it was looking pretty sketchy up there, so hopefully you all are okay. And I'm glad that you're here. Again, we are in the championship rounds, and we are honestly, we're actually at the tail end of the championship rounds right now. Again, the entire show, you all drive the conversation of whatever you want to talk about, and we let you all drive the discourse for what this show is going to be. And we got we're coming up on 3 hours, so we're gonna do 10, 15 minutes more of the show, and then we're going to go through and wrap it up and let y'all enjoy your weekend. We appreciate you coming in on the ride, though. So whatever you want to say, feel free to put your questions and comments and debates on whatever the case may be, boxing or beyond, basketball, sports, movies, television, TV, video games, breaking news that you've got, opinions that you want to discuss, debates that you want to have, conversations and topics that we haven't gotten to talk about yet. If you want to have an opinion on or want to voice an opinion, hey, put it in the chat. Let's see what you got. Absolutely. Let me see. I'm from Birmingham, UK, but I've lived most of my life in London and French colonies. Ah, man, well, shoot. My gosh, talk about being well-traveled. That's incredible. That's phenomenal. Hopefully you like it up there. Hopefully everything is good over there with you. And hey, I appreciate you. Though I know the time constraints can be different. I get it. I appreciate you coming through and spending some time with us. It does my heart really good, man. And hopefully you'll keep coming back. And hopefully we're worth your time. Absolutely. With this type of show. And so I appreciate it. No question about it. But again, like I said, we got 10 minutes left on this show before we wrap it up and send it home. And I'll let y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I get myself ready for what I got to do on Saturday. So, whatever you want to talk about and discuss, we can have it out right now. We've talked about Gervonta Davis. We've talked about the lack of fighting. We talked about him fighting Manny Pacquiao, potentially going to fight Manny Pacquiao. Yes, it's his next fight at 147. Some people had a lot of gripes with that. We've talked further about the facade of tanking his legacy as a dominant fighter from the standpoint of he hasn't really fought anybody. We've talked about Usyk and Moses Atama. 2 fights away is potentially the goal for him to be able to fight the likes of a Usyk down the line. And he might not even need to fight another fight after Dillian White. And he just faces off against Usyk outright if Usyk keeps on fighting. If Usyk does keep on fighting, how long do you think he can go? That's another question, because again, he's 38 years old. And it can be a real dangerous issue from the standpoint of, hey, yes, we've seen Artur Beterbiev, we've seen Canelo at 36, we've seen Crawford at 38, we've seen Arizona Lara at like 42, currently the oldest champion in boxing. All of them have been able to beat Father Time, but also that's not necessarily what can happen with Usyk, though Usyk is indeed defying the odds right now. Everybody's body is different. And we could see, again, with the amount of movement that he uses in his boxing style, though it looks like it's going to slow down no time soon, there is a level of caution that somewhere down the line, maybe sooner than later, we could see the bottom fall out of him, just like we saw with the likes of Pacquiao, when it looked like his prime would just never end, or his ability to be this elite would just never end. And then it ended. I'm not saying it's going to happen with Usyk, but it is a concern. Let me see. What's T-Sector exact channel name? Am I missing something? T-Sector. I feel like I should know this. Am I blanking? Is T-Sector an actual channel? Or is it, oh no, okay, no. I think, and again, if I'm all, and again, Zach, if you can explain it. But I think this is in reference to an earlier topic in the show, talking about drama channels in boxing that primarily do a lot of their content based on drama, not necessarily in fight, predicting fights, or going through. Oh, my bad. My bad. Look, I'm trying to make sure I answer everybody's question. So I'm thinking that it's just my bad. I'm sorry. See, look, this is why This is why I said 10 minutes, because look at what's already happening now. I'm getting confused. I'm thinking I'm being asked something. I ain't. Y'all having conversations in the chat, and I'm over here thinking, oh, everything's about me. I'm so sorry. This is why we wrapping it up in less than 10 minutes, because doggone it, I'm delusional. Lord, now I'm all out of sorts. Great day in the morning. My gosh. I ain't had no food. I ain't had no water. I've been doing nothing but vibes and hyper energy for the entire 3 hours of this show. Great day. Oh, gosh. I need to sit down. Lord. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, shoot. Okay. So we'll put that question to rest. My bad. Sack, you answer that. I'll keep on going through. Let me think. What was I talking about beforehand? Great day. I done lost my train of thought. Hold on. We got to make sure we make these last 10 minutes worthwhile. I lost my train of thought. I was talking about Usyk. I was talking about age. I was talking about Usyk, age, Pacquiao, bottom falling out potentially sooner rather than later. I was getting ready to segue into something. And I can't remember what it was. Doggone it. Okay. Let me try to think of something else. I completely lost what I was going to say in regards to that. Shoot. I remember that. With Usyk getting older and being 38, 39, if he does go through and keep on fighting, what if we see Jai Apatai move up to heavyweight after his fight with Gilberto Ramirez or Gerardo Ramirez at cruiserweight? What if that happens? Would we like to see a fight with Apatai and Usyk against each other in the near future? Would we like to see that? Because that's something that, let's be real, with the seemingly rejuvenated life that Usyk's gotten in his career, at least how he's talking in his last fight, all of a sudden we got to say, hey, brother, Jai Apatai, if he keeps on getting bigger and after Zerto, it could be like, okay, I've conquered this. Now I'm young enough and I got enough power and pop to me. Let me go with the big boys now. Let me attempt to move up. Let me attempt to go and fight with the likes of and Usyk, of Fury, if Fury keeps on staying around, an AJ or Dubois, a Big Bang Zhang or a Bacoli, an Atalma, a Wardley, Justice Huni. There's so many names. If he does go up there, how likely do you think we would see Jai Apatai have the opportunity to get up to fight the likes of Usyk, if Usyk is able to stay around long enough? Because that would be a war. That would be such a good war to see. No question about it. Let me see. Let me keep on reading your comments. Will Klitschko return? He's talking about it. He's been on record saying he wants to make a comeback. I think right now he is in the works in the gym. But it might be still touch and go or whether or not he's able to commit to it. But if he does, I don't know how good he's gonna be. That's my concern. That's my real concern. I don't know how good he's gonna be. I don't know. Because again, this ain't Pacquiao, and this ain't George Foreman. This ain't even Floyd coming back. Now, Pacquiao has been able to, or Klitschko, he didn't look, again, his last fight was Anthony Joshua. It was the fight of the year. But it's been so long since then, and the heavyweight body is different. Coming back like George Foreman is not an anomaly. Or, excuse me, is an anomaly. My bad. Because that should not happen. And normally, it always ends in a bad situation. Klitschko, though, if he can do it, I mean, shoot. I'd be shocked, but I know he's trying to come back. I do know that. He does want to come back in the box. I do know that for certain. Let me see. Do you rate Apatai? I rate him pretty high. I got right now, off the backs. Now, mind you, the talent pool was a little bit different. The backs of the last performance, Apatai versus Claudio, and Zerto versus shoot, I can't remember the brother's name. A good brother at cruiserweight that Zerto just fought against, but I think he was better than Claudio. But still, I got them both, Zerto and Apatai, right here. They're right here. They are neck and neck with each other. If I had to choose, I would have Apatai just a little bit higher. Just a little bit higher than Zerto. But with Zerto having the experience and his arsenal as well, that is a 50-50 fight if I can ever call it. But I do rate Apatai highly. I'm very invested in what Apatai is as a fighter. And I think he can and will be great. I get hate because I think Zerto will stop Apatai. That's not hate. That's not hate that you shouldn't. I don't know why you would. Now, like, do I think it's likely to? I don't think it's likely that Zerto would stop him. I definitely think Zerto would be able to outbox him and beat him. If I was going to pick Zerto winning, it would be by being able to outbox him and outwork him, because the offense that he's able to throw, the tap, 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 boom, shot to the head, shot to the body, tap, tap, keep you occupied with your guard, and then boom, bust through with the right hand, hook to the body, walk you around a little bit, but keep you active and always something's there that's coming at you. That can give Apatai some trouble, no question about it. But I don't think he'll be able to knock him out if I was picking that fight. But I definitely think he'll be able to beat him. But I'm not saying knocking out is out of the equation. Especially those voluminous levels of shots start doing some real damage facially. He could get a doctor stoppage if it becomes an Apatai just can't stop the onslaught of offense. It's possible. I don't know who told you that's ridiculous. It ain't ridiculous at all, but that's a real opportunity. But I would more likely pick him as being able to win by unanimous decision if I was picking Zerto to win over Apatai rather than a knockout. But a knockout is possible. And then, let's see. I watched Zerto's fourth pro fight. Was Mike? Oh, you watched it live? If that's what you're saying, that's impressive. Shoot, dang, you seen that buddy from the jump. Dang. Was Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight fixed? And again, now I've gotten hate for this, but no, that fight wasn't fixed. The fight wasn't fixed. Jake Paul was actually trying to knock Mike Tyson out. Mike Tyson was not trying to bite his gloves and do all that stuff because he was trying to hold back. Mike Tyson was frustrated because he could not do what he wanted to do in the ring. Mike Tyson, if you watched Mike Tyson against Roy Jones Jr., now I said this before, the Mike Tyson that faced off against Roy at 54 would have knocked out the Jake Paul that he faced off against that night. But at 58, his legs were gone. The head movement was still there. The defense was still there. Made Jake Paul miss more than most any other opponent that Jake Paul has faced, outside of maybe Anderson Silva. He was being able to set Jake Paul up, but he could not explode forward because he didn't have any lower body. That was the problem. He knew what to do, and he knew how to do it, and he wanted to do it, but his body could not do it because he could not walk forward and keep his balance, though his upper body was still doing all the old stuff. Mind you, actually effectively, that he used to do in his younger days. Because just by moving his head and slipping like he used to, he was indeed getting away from shots that Jake Paul was throwing. And he had the chin to be able to take it. And they were landing flush on him. It was just too old. People say it's fixed because they just can't buy into the fact that Mike Tyson is 56 and he just ain't the destroyer that we knew him as anymore. But he's 56 years old. You still don't want to fight him across the street. But at some point, age does take a factor. But he's still the baddest man on the planet. Because it's still Mike Tyson. Ali's still the greatest, even when he had Parkinson's, because it's Ali. It's just what he can do just ain't the same no more. It just ain't the same. He's the number one cruiserweight. Is it Zerto that's number one? Or is it, shoot, who is number one actually? I'll look it up later. I got them 1A, 1B. I think I've seen some rankings where Zerto is higher, and some where Apatai is higher. But regardless of which, it's neck and neck either way. Do you like Misfits boxing, celebrity boxing? It's hilarious, my brother. Yeah, no. You see, I like it. I ain't got no issue. See, I love it because it got a lot of people into boxing that weren't into boxing. It's great. I don't like when it crossed over, like what Jake Paul did into the professional route, and it was being done in a manner that wasn't just under the guise or under the umbrella of the celebrity or misfits type of thing. Now it's okay. Now you're trying to be a real fighter. Well, if you're gonna be a real fighter, do the real work. And Jake Paul went in is trying to usurp the work. And he could have stayed in Misfits. Now, granted, he's better than most of the people in Misfits. Absolutely. Absolutely. If he fought KSI, he's knocking out KSI. Yes, he is. He's knocking out KSI. He's knocking out KSI. He's knocking out Deji. He's knocking out about every other fighter in the influencer scene. I get that. But I love the influencer scene because it gives, one, it's everybody of the same talent going up against each other. Two, it's bringing people into the sport and having them invested in boxing, which I love. And three, it's garnering new fans that can get exposed to the professional ranks of boxing and become lifelong fans. It can work. It can work if they do it right. It can work if they do. It can really work if they do it right. And so it's and I think they might have a card coming up. I can't remember if they do or not. But it can be good. It can definitely be good. Let me see and see. My favorite Misfits fighter was Salt Poppy. My favorite one was Salt Poppy. But when he got skinny, he lost his power. When he got fit, he lost his power. Offensively, he's really good. But the way he throws his shots, the weight that he had, made it so that he could throw from here to here. Because of the weight that Salt Poppy used to have, it could be that he was throwing just like this or boom, boom, and it would have some effect because he had weight on him. But when he cut down, he lost the power. And he wasn't punching the same. And shots that was normally putting people out, now they ain't hurting people. And also defensively, he lacks so much, though he is so smooth inside the ring and comfortable. And that's why he got knocked out by Slim. That's why he got knocked out by Slim. And that's why, because he's got, Salt Poppy's got everything to be the best boxer in that whole Misfits scene. He better than KSI. It should be that. If he is actually about that. And if he used his talents accordingly, but he would be I saw it. The first three fights of his, but he was clearing KSI as a boxer. He was clearing Slim. He was clearing what's that brother? Who's that brother? Who's the other brother? The brother they got knocked out by Jake Paul early in his Misfits boxing career, and they came up and won the title and beat Slim. I can't remember his name. Was it Gibby? Was it Geb? It started with a G. I can't think of it. But Salt Poppy was better than all of them. If he had just kept the weight and gotten his defense back up, my gosh, he could have been something good. He still can. I think he's got a fight coming up. But if he can just get some level of defense and get bigger, get his weight back, he can be something. No, not Nate Robinson. It was the brother that beat Slim in Memphis, or the brother that fought Slim. When Slim had knocked out Salt Poppy, and it was like it was Slim and that guy as like the winner of this gets like the belt. It's gonna be the best of the land. Who is this? I'm gonna try to find it. See now it's gonna. Now it's gonna frustrate me. Now it's gonna frustrate me. Gib, that's what it was. Gib, that's what I'm thinking of. Gib, yeah, Gib, that's what I'm thinking of. It was Gib versus Slim at Misfits. Was it Misfits X? Yeah, the Misfits X series when they fought for the title, for the Misfits title. That's what I was thinking. Not Nate Robinson. It was him. And so Salt Poppy would have been better than all of them as a boxer because he had it. The brother just didn't. He didn't hone in on his defensive stuff, and he lost too much weight that took away the pop. He ain't punching nowhere close to what he was in his first couple stints out. And it wasn't because he was fighting bums. Because the majority of people that are in Misfits don't really know how to fight. It wasn't the competition that was why he was winning. It was because of his own, what he had done to his own self. Better conditioned, but you lost everything. You lost one of the biggest proponents that made you you. It's like with Ruiz. Brother went through and gained too much weight, and then lost too much weight, and now he's never been the same as what he was when he was at his prime. That's the issue. That is the problem. But let me keep on reading. Good gosh, there's a lot of people. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Also, this fight was absolutely horrible. This fight right here, Wings of Redemption versus Boogie, brother, that was just, yes, that was indeed the actual heaviest boxing match in history. But my gosh, brother, they could have been better. Even as fighters, they could have been better. Even with the shape that they were in. Again, I'm familiar with Boogie. I'm familiar with Rings of Redemption. That fight could have been that fight could have been better. That fight definitely could have been better. My gosh. Oh, Lord. Let me see. Jake Paul has been asking, funny fight I ever seen. Nearly gave me a heart attack. I need not. Hey, this is what, like, yeah. And again, thank goodness Ben Askren's okay today. Also, got his lung transplant, if you didn't know. Brother was getting ready to die. Almost, he needed a lung transplant like a couple of months ago. Finally got it. Back home. Thankfully. He's safe. Thank goodness. I'm so glad that it didn't take a turn for the worse, and he got what he needed. I think it was Dana White that helped him out, which again is great. So thankfully with that, let me see. You see things in advance. You see things in advance. Older you are in the brain, but the body lets you down. Yep, that's absolutely the truth. A lot of people saying Usyk is greater than Ali. Is that realistic? So okay, this will be the last thing that we touch on. This will be the last thing that we touch on. Let me see. I get 8% Holyfield and Usyk above Ali. This will be the last thing that we touch on for this show before I get out of here. Let me make sure I ain't missing nobody else. Okay. Yep. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this will be the last thing that we touch on. Ali, Usyk, Holyfield, and the rest of the GOAT conversation is putting Usyk above Ali a problematic issue. Now again, with full disclaimer, the pound for pound list is subjective. We'll start off with that. The pound for pound list is absolutely subjective. It is worth talking about. Everybody else has their own criteria. Now, with that being said, for me, it is not feasible to put Ali or to put Usyk above Ali, because Usyk isn't above any of the other people or most of the other people that are under Ali. Again, we made, if you might not have been here, I'll pull up the list. We have made a pound for pound list of the top 10 heavyweights in history in no particular order outside of number one being Ali. And I think this got erased, but outside of Ali, we put it in no particular order of who was in that top 10 threshold for the greatest heavyweights of all time. And we said it was Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, Larry Holmes, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Lennox Lewis, Rocky Marciano, Mike Tyson, Holyfield, Jack Johnson. Usyk was 11th on my list. He was above Klitschko. He's above Sonny Liston. He's above Spinks. He's above, what's it called? Let me think. Just about everybody else. If you wanted to, I'm trying to think, I even put him above Jack Dempsey. And that's saying something. But Jack Dempsey's a buddy that Mike Tyson modeled his whole mantra into somewhat of a stylistic nature out of. Again, of course, trained under custom model, took what Floyd Patterson did and refined that to the perfection of the peekaboo style. But mentality-wise, Jack Johnson was one of them ones. Jack Johnson, yes, but Jack Dempsey was one of them ones, no question about it. Similar to what we see with Usyk knocking out giants at a weight class at that point in time, which it was huge. Great, absolutely great. But I even got Usyk above him. I don't have Usyk above Evander Holyfield. I definitely can't put Usyk above Ali, especially for that very reason. Him over Lennox Lewis, I don't have Lennox. I got Lennox over him. And Lennox is well below Ali. I definitely, and again, this is not disrespect. I definitely don't have Usyk over Joe Louis. I sure enough ain't got him over George Foreman. George Foreman went 2 different decades and eras and 2 different evolutions in sport and still came out on top. That's preposterous. And took people like Holyfield, who was still relatively close to his prime, to the limit. Who was champion, actually, to the limit. If he was younger, I firmly believe he would have beaten Holyfield. On top of Michael Moore, on top of Tommy Morrison. His restricted ability still didn't stop him from being a dominant force in the division. Even Mike Tyson himself, later years, said that I didn't want anything to do with George Foreman when he came back to boxing. That brother hits too hard. I'm not messing with that. George Foreman also, before he died, in his later years, said, hey, when Mike Tyson was on the scene and I was coming back up into contention, I didn't want anything to do with Mike Tyson. It was mutually agreed destruction. If we fought against each other, you on your side of the road, I'm on mine. I respect you. I may think I can beat you, but I don't want nothing to do with you. Both of them went on record in saying that. So this brother was transcendent and dominant in 2 different eras. And so I don't have him above that. Rocky Marciano, with the names of who he beat with Archie Moore, with the likes of Joe Louis, though again, it was an older Joe Louis, I understand, but still Joe Louis, Ezzard Charles, who Marciano knocked out, rematching some of these people and beating them. Jersey Joe Walcox, he beat, who stylistically was one of the most unique and off-rhythm fighters in history, who had a puncher's punch. He ain't greater than that. And again, Tyson's run at the heavyweight division was short, but he also fought more deep competition. At the top of the mountain, we can say that, AJ Usyk, excuse me, my apologies, AJ Fury, and then a new rejuvenated Dubois with the second fight are 3 of his best wins to date. No question, with Tyson Fury being the definitive best win. Absolutely. But Tyson had Berbick, Tyson had Frank Bruno, Tyson had hold on, I'm blanking. That fight, let me pull up the resume so I can give you the names of people that were indeed great, like Razor Ruddock, like Holyfield, like Lennox Lewis. All he did fight. Yes, he was out of his prime when he did fight them. In terms of the Holyfields and Lewis's, I understand it. And it was turning into their era. But still, those are the names that he went up against. And those were of higher quality than Tyson Fury. And again, Tyson Fury was indeed talked about as he was the greatest heavyweight of all time. But understand that rhetoric doesn't validate that this win over him puts Usyk on that pedestal, because Tyson Fury was never at that level as a heavyweight great. He's still an all-time great heavyweight. He is one of the greatest heavyweights of this era in boxing. But mind you, this era is coming off the backs of the Klitschko era. And even then, That era was weaker than this era. And this era is still weak. The next era is coming into play, and we're getting some pretty decent names, like with the Joseph Parkers, who are still around, the Daniel Dubois, who again have retooled, but as we can see with Usyk, no match. But they're going to lead the next era. Moses the Talma, that other brother with the long last name from New Zealand that I can't think of, Justice Hooney, who again, one loss doesn't show that this brother ain't going to be anything, because he showed he got some goods. Not to mention you still have the Bacolis, the F.A. Ajagbas, though that's a little more down the totem pole, I understand. But it is coming into a stronger, deeper era. Thankfully, which is great. I'm not holding that against Usyk, but we have to talk about the reality of the situation. And when it comes to Tyson Fury, because of that loss to Usyk, for a lot of people, because of them not understanding the greats of the past or the real deep history of the heavyweight division, it made him seem like that's the end all be all. Because everybody was like, how in the world could Ali beat that? And then Usyk, same size and weight, with, again, not nearly as great of a boxing ability, though his ability is great. Do not get me wrong. But Ali was a better fighter than the likes of Usyk and took on better competition in a completely deeper era that was filled with, mind you, 3 of the 10 best heavyweights of all time. 4 of the 10 best heavyweights of all time all fought in the era of Ali. With Ali, Foreman, Frazier, and Larry Holmes. Because Ali fought Larry Holmes. Though, again, old, past his prime, absolutely. But still. Coupled with Ken Norton. Coupled with Von Lyle, who he beat. Coupled with, who's that, because they didn't have cruiserweight at that point in time. It was light heavyweight and heavyweight. Who's that light heavyweight that came up with him? One of the greatest light heavyweights of all time that came up to fight Ali in Ali's later years, and Ali knocked him out. What was his name? What was his name? Shoot. Dang it. I just watched that fight. Like a couple months ago. What was it? Dang it. Hold on. Where is it at? Who in the world was it? Bob Foster, that's who it was. That's what I was thinking of. Bob Foster, one of the greatest light heavyweights of all time, came up to fight Ali later in his prime at heavyweight. And it was a potential thing of, hey, Bob Foster might be able to actually give some work, because Bob Foster was legit. And Ali knocked him out. Moving up, that was a big fight. Not just because it was somebody moving up to challenge Ali, but it was because Bob Foster was seen as, hey, brother, yo, this cat got some tools to the trade that is something serious. And Bob Foster, I think, is the only brother that has cut Muhammad Ali. And so it was like, it was something serious. And so all that is to say, that's why I don't think Usyk can ever be put above Ali. And why also he should not be in that top 10 at this point. Again, he's on 11. On my list, he's on 11. But if he keeps on going like this, he can carve out a pathway to elevate his game. No question. No question about it. It's just at this point in time, I can't put Usyk above him. Again, this is not disrespect. To me, that is something that is out of the question due to what we know about what Ali was. Not just in grandeur. We're talking about strictly boxing. Forget the other stuff, which is, again, adds to why he is an all-time great. Absolutely. But strictly with him as a fighter, if you stripped everything else away from what made Ali Ali and just see him as a boxer, brother, he would still be seen as the greatest heavyweight of all time. He would still be seen as it. He would still be seen as it. And at the end, that's not me trying to disrespect Usyk. That's, in my opinion, that's what I see. And that's why I feel the way I feel about it with him. But let me keep on reading you all's thoughts with this. Hold on, wait a minute. And he was let down. Badly. Yep, he let himself go. Sadly, I got him over Mike Tyson easy. And this is another conversation where, like, Tyson was undisputed at 21 and got the title back. What was it, 26, 28? And Tyson at heavyweight still fought a deeper depth of talent. He did. And again, for me, while you can say that Usyk got him on accolades, again, like heavyweight or cruiserweight and heavyweight champion, absolutely. And again, at the top of the top, he did beat them. No question. And again, all that's right. Tyson lost against his opponents, against his best opponents, like Holyfield and like, again, Lennox Lewis, though, again, we covered out of his prime. I understand. We've also covered, again, the context as to why the downfall of Mike Tyson happened and why it was so short that by the time he got to the Holyfields and Lennox Lewis, he was already a completely different fighter. And so, and again, a lot of people, y'all probably going to disagree with me. And I completely understand it. But I'm just trying to give you context as to why I have my ranking the way I have my ranking, with Usyk being just outside of there. But all I know is, brother, I want to see him keep going. I do want to see him keep going because I would love to see for Usyk to crack my top 10. I would love to see for Usyk to crack my top 10. I would love to do it because he like I almost don't want to have this conversation when it comes to Usyk specifically because it almost makes it seem like I almost feel like I discredit him, though I attempt to put him in as much granular context as possible, never to demean the accomplishments and the greatness that we're witnessing. But it's just because of my understanding of the greats that came before, it is really tough for me to put him above that list. And the fact that he got this close, mind you, understand this. Tyson Fury was going to take the throne as the best fighter of this generation. And during that prime of time, I was not saying any of this talk with him. I wasn't. This was with the Klitschko win. This was with him beating Deontay Wilder. This was with him battling depression, beating Otto Wallin, beating Dillian White, and all the other people. I still wasn't saying this about Fury because the conversation wasn't needed. Because to me, it wasn't a conversation that he did not belong in that ring. He did not belong in that same thing. He was one of the greatest of all time, absolutely. But accolades and talent didn't reach that threshold to deserve this conversation. With Usyk, I can have that conversation. And by proxy of me living in an era where I can have that conversation comfortably, that we're witnessing potentially one of the 10 greatest of all time, on my list, number 11. That speaks volumes to the level of talent, regardless of how you feel this era is, which, again, I have said and stated, it is not a strong era. It's top heavy. It is. But it ain't strong. I have said that. If y'all follow the channel, I've said this before about it. I've said this about why Tyson Fury was able to be so successful. I said that Usyk fights like fighters of the 80s and 90s. That, like the Holyfields, or Tyson's, or even Razor Ruddock, whatever boxer you want to go through, Riddick Bowe. People that had a well-rounded frame of footwork, skill set, power, speed, and was able to be diverse in multifacets of this game beyond just being straight up power. Usyk brought that old school flair to the modern day, and he cleaned house like nobody's business in 8 fights. Showed you just how great he is. I just think that this is a threshold that he just hasn't reached yet. But he still can if he keeps fighting. And he will. Like I said, Joseph Parker, then Moses Talma, helps drastically. But he stays around long enough and sweeps the next era of heavyweights as well, along with this era of heavyweights that he's already done. Even better. It's going to be hard. But he can do it. And so I'm not diminishing your list or who you have him above. Again, I have Tyson. I have Ali. I have Holyfield better. Who I would be more inclined to put the likes of Usyk above a potential, most likely potential Rocky Marciano. Due to, again, what me learning about it. Undefeated 6-title defenses. Yes, a lot of these fighters were older. And so it's some level of, a little bit, but even despite that, it still is Rocky doggone Marciano. Even Ali was giving him respect for it. Like, hey man, that would have been a hard fight for him to beat. So even then, it's difficult. And like I said, this is why I go to historians. This is why I go to people that have lived through the time or have studied the time way more than me. Because I'm still learning about this list, and I'm still learning about whether or not I need to move some people around. Take some people up or down. Whether I'm overvaluing some people or devaluing some others. And there's still a level of history that I still don't know. That I'm still looking to find out. Hopefully this list is respectable to what I got. But it's like I'm still learning. I'm still going to make an effort. That's what I'm doing right now. So, but that's how I have the list. And for a lot of people, if maybe with Tyson, okay, we can have an argument, maybe. But with Ali Usyk being put above him, I genuinely and strongly am against it. Because I, strictly as a fighter, from the depth that he had to fight, the talent pool that he had to fight, and the ability to still go far and away and beat everybody 2 times over. Again, outside of Larry Holmes because he was just too old. But beat them just like in a rematch. If they beat him, and he fought everybody at their level in their prime immediately. Again, even with Usyk, he fought Anthony Joshua after he was never the same from Andy Ruiz. And he was to some degree scared to get hit. We touched on that on this show. He was still trying to reinvent himself. He fought him then. Daniel Dubois, the first time he fought him, everybody was calling him a quitter. And it was concerned of whether or not he could actually, if he was tough enough. Because he lay down and, I give up. That was the concern. And then he did it. And then everybody was like, he's a quitter. Second time around, he got better. Okay, boom, you beat him like that. No issue there. And then Tyson Fury had not fought a prime Anthony Joshua. Tyson Fury's best win outside of Klitschko, which again, he stopped fighting afterwards, yes, due to depression, but still he stopped for 6 years. His only biggest win is Klitschko and Wilder. And Wilder now is a complete 180 because we're all saying, hey, but Wilder was never all that good. We all are collectively saying Wilder was nothing but a power puncher without any actual technique. One of the greatest punchers in history, but we're saying as a talent, oh, no. We all have agreed to that. And so, some people would argue that may bring up how good actually was Tyson Fury. What if he had fought AJ in his prime? When AJ was actually well-rounded and had good footwork and good defense and elite power. What if he had fought that? Because again, that was the fight that we wanted to see. We never got it. We still ain't got it. And we could have had it in his prime. We could have had it when Usyk came back or when Fury came back. Well before Usyk got there. But it didn't happen. But unlike that, when Frazier got at the top, Ali fought him. And then Ali fought Foreman. And then Foreman fought Ali. And then Ali fought Frazier again. And then Frazier fought Foreman again. And then Ali fought Ken Norton. Then Ali got beat by Ken Norton. Ken Norton then got beat by George Foreman in 2 rounds. Then Ken Norton faces Ali and beats him. Then Ali faces Foreman and beats him. And so it's like everybody at their best fought, when it was at the pinnacle of the heavyweight division, fought each other almost immediately. And then boom, 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 boom. Bombs were exploding everywhere. From the standpoint of somebody proved himself, Ali came up and beats them. Ali loses to them. They lose to another brother. Ali goes and faces off against that brother and beats him, and then runs back and beats the guy who beat him. And then beats him for a third time. Like it's ridiculous. What Ali did in his career in that division was ridiculous. Don't get me started on when on before Frazier, when it was black and white, up and coming to listed with Cleveland Williams. And with the rest of the heavyweight division at that point in time in the 60s, when he was at his best, like best. Again, being annexed because of the war. That's a completely different Ali entirely. That's like a whole different beast entirely of a fighter. And because of those reasons, I just can't put him above him. But it's not disrespect. It's just, I do understand there is a real level that those other greats reached that Usyk just hasn't reached at this point in time. But he can still elevate. It's not over. Definitely ain't over. And the better he gets, the more we talk about. Absolutely. Again, if he loses, he loses. Come back, beat him. One feather in his cap. He's beaten everybody and then rematched everybody and then beat everybody again. That's impressive. That's really impressive. That's hard to do. That's incredibly hard to do. And he's still undefeated. But again, ducking no test. We love it. Absolutely. But again, it's just my thoughts on the matter. You might not agree. I understand. But just my opinion on it all. But now, we're going to wrap it up. Now we're going to go and send home. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. Hopefully you've had a phenomenal time with us on today. But we got to go and go home. So with all that being said, this has been another episode of The Watchable with me, host Jean-Luc Welch. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to this Friday edition of the Championship Rounds on this podcast. We appreciate your time, appreciate your effort all across the world. Please leave a like on the stream before you leave. Comment your thoughts and opinions on what you like and didn't like about the show. Be sure to go ahead and share the show with everybody you can and keep building up this empire together. Come join the empire and subscribe to the channel. Come and hit the notification bell so you know whenever we post on this podcast. Be sure to go and if you can support the show, help us with Cash App, PayPal, links down below in the description also. If anything will do, if you can give, help, if this is my job, helps us to invest back into the show and make it better for you all, because that's what you all deserve. And we're going to be back next week. I'm not going to be able to live stream the fights. We're going to be back next week to cover more in boxing and beyond right here on The Welch Report. So, I've been Jean-Luc Welch. You all have been wonderful. Peace and love. We are out here. Yes, sir. We are going to see you all on Tuesday. Be safe. Be blessed. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you next time.